Promote public confidence in the professionalism and accountability of the City of Riverside's Police Department. The Commission consists of an all-civilian panel of members from across the city. The Commission's roles include advising the Mayor and City Council on all police relations issues, reviewing and investigating officer-involved deaths, receiving complaints, and conducting hearings on misconduct against sworn Riverside police officers, making policy suggestions, and bringing community concerns to the attention of the Riverside Police Department. If you're interested in learning more about how you can serve, or for information on the Commission, visit riversideca.gov/CPRC.
Welcome to Wheelock Stadium on the campus of RCC. Tiger football back on Riverside TV. I'm Ghazal Hassan. This is Jeff Gorham. Tigers 6-0, maintaining their #1 ranking in the state. They're 1-0 in league after a win over Grossmont last week. They come back to the friendly confines of Wheelock to take on Golden West. The Rustlers, Jeff, they're also 1-0 in competition, and they've played RCC tough over the last couple of years.
Well, I'll tell you what, they like to play defense, and that's where they like to hang their hat. They're going to rush 75% of the time. They're going to try to get after the quarterback so that they cannot go to that secondary.
As good as RCC has been on offense, they rung up over 600 yards last week. They've also played very well on defense, and they're going to do a lot to limit what Golden West can do. The Rustlers are going to try to play a little ball control tonight, run the ball between the tackles, try to shorten this game.
They're going to have to, just because Riverside has such great speed and strength. They've got to play to that strength, and that is just playing off tackle.
The plan for RCC is simply to take care of business. If they continue to win week to week, you know, it's the old coach's cliche, one game at a time, they'll be in a position to play for a bowl berth against Saddleback in the last week of the season. We'll kick it now to the third member of our broadcast team. Standing by on the sideline is Brian Wilson.
Yeah, thanks, guys. As you said, should be a pretty good contest tonight. Golden West has turned this into a game the past 2 years. A year ago, only losing 24-6, and the year before that, keeping it to 20-14. Should be a tough matchup. Golden West has a lot of playmakers on offense. We'll see how RCC can shut them down tonight.
Thanks, Brian. Tigers come in 6-0, the Rustlers 3-3, but they both won their first league game. And as Brian mentioned, you know, historically, Golden West has really kept it close with RCC. You mentioned the 24-6 game last year, but 2 years ago, 20-14 right here at RCC, and the year before that out in Huntington Beach, it was a 20-17 game. So Nick Mitchell and his Rustlers, they always love the challenge of playing against Tom Craft's Tigers, Jeff, and they keep these games close.
Well, they like it because they think they match up pretty well with the Tigers. They are concerned about their speed, but I'll tell you what, there's a giant bullseye on the Tigers' back, and everybody wants to knock off the Tigers, especially being ranked #1 in the state and the country.
Martinique Finn and Rolandis Whitener deep for RCC. Max Casper, the sophomore from Corona Del Mar, line drive kick to the right corner, and Martinique is going to bring it out of the end zone. He's about 7 yards deep. Martinique making a juke move, trying to get outside, and will be tackled at the 23-yard line. Making the tackle for Golden West, TJ Tofite. Tofite is from Vallejo, California, Vallejo High. 24-yard line. Starting lineup for RCC, we'll see Mike Irwin behind center. Ty Kennedy is nursing an injury. They're just playing it safe with him, not particularly serious. But they're going to be cautious with him tonight. So we'll see Retzlaff split out to the near side. In the far slot is Giovanni Sanders, split out to the top of the screen. For RCC is Isaiah Leaf. 1st and 10 from the 23. Here's the handoff to Griffin, and Griffin surges over the 30. About 8-yard pickup, 2nd and short.
Well, I think Riverside is really going to test their running game here early, because we do know they've got two great quarterbacks that they can rely on. They've got the mobile quarterback and Bartlett.
Irwin to Retzlaff, complete to the sideline. Looked like Reich jumped for Golden West. Close to a first down. There is a penalty flag on the play. Defensively for Golden West, they run a very unique set. They do a 3-2-6 across the front on the defensive line. Jose Arredondo, Vijay Malo, Moses Ale. The two linebackers for Golden West are Sele Pamasa and Raphael Jones. And then those 6 defensive backs. Watch Erlen Palmer on the corners. Alex Reich, number 27. He is a Swiss national coming to America to play football.
And talking about those free safeties, their assistant head coach, Sean Corcoran, talked to me before the game, said he would go against anybody with the two guys he has deep for the Rustlers.
So the 5-yard penalty marched off against Golden West, makes it first down. Line is the 36. Watch Sanders down on the near slot. Retzlaff split out to the near side as RCC goes 2 by 2. Now Griffin will shift back into the backfield. Griffin gets met by Reich. Reich, the first man there. Alex Reich, the freshman from Schur in Switzerland. Second leading tackler for the Rustlers. Played American football for Kalanda in a European football league in Switzerland.
That's different. I wonder if he knows the Von Trapp family.
Skiing jokes here, Jeff Gorham. 5-yard loss will pull it back to the 31 of the Tigers. Irwin. Time. Complete. No, incomplete. Looks like Laurent kind of couldn't quite find the handle on that at the 40-yard line. Third down.
And Riverside really relies on rhythm and getting going. We've seen them start slow at times, but we've also seen them when they get going. They have started kind of off a little bit tonight here.
Laurent had a really big game last week against Grossmont. Remember last time we were here, he had a big game against Long Beach City as well. Really emerging for the Tigers this season. 3rd and 15, line the 31. Here's pressure from Ale. They'll fling it to the near side for Griffin. Griffin needs to do some work on his own, but good short tackling there at the 34, and a flag will come in. Sean Branch makes the tackle. He's the kid from Stevensville, Michigan, Lakeshore High.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a late hit out of bounds. Let's see here on the replay.
And RCC, Jeff, still running that 2 QB platoon. We've seen Irwin out here.
Defense, number 21. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
So a little bit of a bailout for RCC. They make a play and they get the personal foul. It'll advance the sticks. They'll keep the drive going. The Tigers, as we talked about, they're number 1, tied for number 1 in the state coaches poll with San Mateo. They're number 1 in the divisional poll, and then ranked number 1 by JC Gridiron in the JC Gridiron top 30. From the 49, 1st and 10. Here's pressure. Underneath screen to Griffin, can't quite hold it, a little bit behind him. Pressure was coming, and that's what they're going to do. The Rustlers just going to bring the heat against RCC and try to force them into more of a running game. They really want to control the clock in this game, Jeff.
Yeah, they have to, because at any given point, Riverside can, rally off a couple scores here, but they are going to blitz, and they're going to go try to get after Irwin here. 2nd down and 10 from the RCC 49. Griffin in motion. Irwin back. Here comes the pressure up the gut. Irwin dancing. He'll throw the ball, and it's intercepted. So picked off at the 36 to midfield goes Sean Branch. Branch, his first interception of the year. So Branch, the sophomore, got flagged for the personal foul a couple of plays ago, finds redemption with the turnover. Let's see what happened. And that's just rushed right there. Irwin gets out of the pocket and just looks like he threw it a little soft. Good play on the ball by Branch. He was in coverage with Giovanni Sanders. And we'll get our first look at the offense for the Rustlers of Golden West. Rustlers averaging just under 31 points per game. Espinoza will not start. Zach Lewis gets the start tonight as Nathaniel Espinoza nursing a high ankle sprain. Big offensive line. They can try to run between the tackles, although they play a 4-wide set. Lewis in trouble, and down he goes. He got rid of the ball, but James Hansen got 2 big paws around him before he could release it. And Zach Lewis is the 3rd quarterback that they've used this year. They don't have a backup quarterback, Gazal. If he goes down, they're going to pull out a receiver who played quarterback in high school. So we hope that they can stay healthy throughout this ball game. Watch 32, the sophomore, Tajay Morant from Macon, Georgia. He's an interesting story. He's been a very productive player for Golden West. 2nd and 10, line is midfield. Rustlers with an early turnover. Here's Morant dancing between the tackles, trying to surge forward on that painted tiger visage at midfield. Gets a couple, will bring up 3rd and 8. Obviously, you see the flash underneath Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. Scoreboard has gone a little bit pink. You see the pink armband around the elbow of Tajay Morant for Golden West to raise funding and awareness for breast cancer here in October. Susan G. Komen Fund.
Big third down coming up for the defense, and as good as the offense has been, the defense has been playing better of late too for RCC.
Yeah, because we saw them earlier. They were giving up a lot of points. It's nice to see Coach Kraft shoring up this defense.
3rd and 8, Lewis looking to the near side. Complete, but it'll be short of the first down. Estes on the coverage for RCC. The pass completed to Jeremiah Wright, the sophomore from Vancouver, Washington. Holyfield coming with pressure from the outside, trying to get out of his hand quickly is Lewis. Lewis on the year completed about 56% of his passes, has 8 touchdowns and 88 passes, and has thrown for 636 yards. And here we go. The special teams has been a kind of a point of contention for Golden West. Casper averaging 34 yards a kick will try to pin the Tigers deep. Dorso back to receive for RCC. Angle to the left side is the kick. Drifting over there is Dorso, drops at the 10. He'll field it at the 4. Circles back, gets over the 10, 15, 20 to the outside. Will get tripped up just before the 25-yard line. So a little bit of a dangerous play by Dorso, but it worked out okay, almost a 20-yard return.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're going to get from the Tigers every single time. They're going to go and be aggressive offensively. They're going to try to get good field position. And just like that, he's able to get some yards that probably shouldn't have got.
So a good job playing around the turnover by the defense of RCC, and they'll get another opportunity to go after this Golden West Rustlers defense. Rustlers last week got a win over Orange Coast College. They had a bye week the week before. They lost to the Canyons, and when I was talking to Nick Mitchell earlier this week, he feels that from an athletic standpoint, RCC and Canyons are very similar. Here's the give up the middle, banging over to the 30-yard line is Kinslow. And how about Thomas Kinslow, how he's emerged as the leading rusher for RCC, Jeff?
And we've seen him at times. He's been a clutch, especially in that San Bernardino Valley game we had.
Had a big run against Long Beach City as well. Ball on the turf, falling on it, and flags come in on the play. That's Jacob Barledge at quarterback for RCC. So a quick switch by Coach Tom Kraft.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen Barledge I think in the first half since we've been covering these games this year. He's more of the pocket passer. He's not going to be, actively mobile, but he has a dangerous arm and can really pinpoint and thread the needle.
I think against Valley we saw the alternate, but yeah, in the game against Long Beach, Irwin pretty much had the first quarter and Barledge pretty much had the first half, second half.
That penalty declined. 3rd down.
So the illegal shift on Whitener, they'll take the play, which will move the ball back inside the 30 to about the 28. So 3rd and 7. First down to the 35.
That brings up a 3rd and 7 for the Tigers.
2-by-2 on the 3rd down play for Barledge. Anthony Rodriguez, the tight end in the near slot. Here comes pressure over the middle and knocked away. Intended receiver was Armstrong Johnson coming over the back, Isaiah Palmer, and looks like they're going to get Palmer on either illegal use of hands or a pass interference.
Yeah, he got him early. That's for sure here. I believe it's going to be a PI here.
Our white hat tonight, George Arredondo, the chief of this crew.
I just want to know, they've been doing this for weeks. His hat is perfectly white. Perfect.
Maybe he's one of those guys that keeps everything clean.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
One of those kids you grew up with who on their baseball cards, the corners were always sharp.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then you get like the Frank Tanana. Remember Frank? I'd have like 50 Frank Tananas, but I use those on my bike spokes.
I remember a lot of John Wathens. I get a lot of John Wathen cards back in the day. So the ball moves up to the 37.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 22. That's a spot foul. 1st down.
So the spot foul will make it a 1st down.
They still haven't moved the sticks here yet.
RCC from the 37. Jacob Barledge on the second series comes in, the freshman from Valley View High School in Moreno Valley. 2-by-2 are the Tigers. Here's the give up the middle to Kinslow. Kinslow running explosively, traversing over the 40-yard line, about a 5-yard pickup on the play. Kinslow, the freshman from Centennial High in Corona, played his high school career for Matt Logan and the Huskies.
The evil Sith Lord, Matt Logan.
Ball on the turf again, and Barlage covers it. Bearing down on him was VJ Malo, the sophomore, all-conference player. Flag comes in. Let's sort this one out as well. Under 10 minutes to play. Been pretty eventful on both sides. We've had a turnover, had a couple of balls hit the turf, had a couple of flags, extend drives for RCC. And they're going to wave that one off.
There is no foul on the play. Third down.
So 3rd and 9 for RCC. Ball at the 38-yard line of the Tigers. Tigers 2-by-2 with a single back. Kinslow the back. Retzlaff split to the near side, and the near slot Laurent for RCC. Play action. Barlage looking right. Throwing, and it's intercepted. Isaiah Palmer with the pick, the freshman from Edison High School, and another turnover. So an interception for Irwin, Jeff, and now an interception for young Jacob Barlage.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach Kraft can't like that being a quarterback guru. He might have to go deeper into the depth chart here early because the Tigers just don't look like they came ready to play, and that could be a snake bite, and that's something you can't have if you want to be a championship ball club. You cannot have letdowns, and we've had 2 so far tonight.
Golden West has allowed just under 30 points per game, 29.3 on the year, but they're better against the run than they are against the pass. The 2 takeaways today give them 16 on the year, 11 interceptions, and 5 fumble recoveries. Last year against RCC out in Huntington Beach, the Tigers rolled up 460 yards on the Rustlers in a 24-6 win. So 1st and 10 Rustlers from the 45 with 9:34 to play first quarter, no score. Morant tries the middle. Second effort gets him a couple of extra yards. The initial surge stopped him, but he kept churning. Maybe a yard and a half on the play. Tajay Morant.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Comes in averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. And met with the resistance initially right there and gets away from Kobe Fitzgerald. Finally, Fitzgerald drags him down. They gave him a 2-yard gain. Second and 8. Line is the 43 of RCC. Second turnover by the Tigers. Let's see if this time the Rustlers can capitalize. Man coverage on the outside. Launching it down the field, overthrown. Intended receiver was Adam Armstrong. In coverage for RCC was Ray Estes.
Oh, yeah, 3 in coverage. That's just how quick the Tigers are in that secondary.
Isaiah Powell back at the safety position for RCC. He'd missed the last couple of games. So good to see him back from his injury there with Dorso Estes. And playing on the opposite side, Lionel Masivi in the secondary for RCC. Line is the 43. It's 3rd and 8. Lewis to throw. Complete. No, it's dropped to the near side. Making the play is Estes. Intended receiver for Golden West was Casey Carr. 4th down. Just couldn't reel it in. Was in the breadbasket there, Jeff.
It was perfect pass. I think he just knew it was coming.
Lewis throws the ball pretty well. Espinoza, Jeff, more of a dual threat. He can run and he can throw. He's nursing a high ankle sprain. Wasn't even in uniform. We were down on the sideline earlier today. And here's the punt again, coming from Max Casper. Casper will angle it. And Dorso will signal fair catch at the 10-yard line. We had a nice conversation with Sean Corcoran, who's a friend of yours, family friend of yours, I guess. He's not only the associate head coach at Golden West, but he handles the special teams.
He does special teams. He's the defensive guy, the defensive guru. I've known Sean Corcoran since he was about 11 years old, maybe even younger. And we used to go out in a boat. His dad owned a boat. My buddy Mark Guard, who's sitting behind us, we used to go out on this boat. We would go to Catalina, and I would always threaten to throw him off the boat. But now he's a grown man with a child.
What a mean man you were.
Oh no, he deserved it. He
Okay.
was an annoying little kid. Now he's a big time coach.
1st and 10 from the 10. Irwin back in, and Reich blows that play up. Handoff to Bosley, and Bosley gets a Swiss hello from Alex Reich.
Yeah, talking about Sean Corcoran, worked for the Raiders for a bit, worked for the NFL, was at the University of Arizona, and has been at Golden West for the last 8 years.
So he believes in the greatness of the Raiders.
He loved the Raiders. In fact, his goal in life was to be the head coach of the Raiders. Still could happen.
From the 11, it's 2nd and 9. Bosley is the lone setback. The near slot, Laurent, split out to the near side, Retzlaff. Split out to the far side for RCC is Isaiah Leith. Irwin going to launch for Retzlaff. Retzlaff adjusts, and he picked off again. 3rd interception for Golden West. That's J.J. Young, the freshman from Des Moines, Washington, coming up with a pick.
And I'll tell you what, that ball didn't have a whole lot on it. In fact, when he let go of it, I said, uh-oh, that could be trouble.
So the suddenly larcenous Rustlers living up to their name. Not only they're not stealing cattle, they're stealing pigskin here tonight, Jeff Gorham.
They are bandits. Rustlers.
Like Kelly Leak and the Bad News Bears. Miguel Aguilar said it best, es un bandido.
You just went Kelly Leak on us. I'm more of a Tanner Boyle guy.
Jackie Earl Haley, Oscar nominee. 1st and 10 from the 40 for Golden West College, and flags and whistles will halt the play. Fullback in for the Rustlers, Devin Jackson. Jackson, a freshman out of Seattle.
On the offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So the Rustlers have had really good field position now 3 times, but they have nary a point on the board. Time for the Rustlers, if they want to be in this game with RCC, to get that Ziggy off. You have 3 turnovers already, but you haven't capitalized.
You have to capitalize. In fact, they haven't really moved the ball very much tonight.
Get a look at quarterback for Golden West, Zach Lewis. Originally committed to Nevada, was going to play for Jay Norvell, redshirted last year and decided to re-trigger the junior college route. Setting up the screen. Complete. Pounding down inside of the 31 for a first down is Trevor Hobbs, the big tight end from Elkhart, Indiana. Jimtown High School was a 3-sport athlete in Indiana. He played football, baseball. Can you guess the 3rd sport he played?
Cricket.
He was born in a small town.
I guess he would probably be a basketball guy.
Indiana, basketball.
Yeah.
13-yard pickup makes it a 2nd and 2.
I don't think they play much cricket in Indiana.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe some lacrosse.
Line is the 32. 2nd and 2 for the Rustlers. No score, although 3 turnovers in the first quarter for RCC. Complete. Oh, and Estes just lit him up. Adam Armstrong caught the ball, and how do you do from the cornerback for RCC? Estes with the hit. Maybe a yard on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 1.
And we've seen Estes the last few games that we've covered here for Riverside TV. He is super athletic, but is so quick to get into the ball.
Couple of picks on the year for the freshman from St. Louis. Tackle number 22 on the season. 19 of them are solo tackles. 3rd down and 1. And no, sir. The middle of the defense surges for RCC, and they knock him backward. The first man there looked like Holyfield got there, got help from Jalen Bowens. And, of course, how can I forget big Alex Navarro Silva in the middle. They stoned Devin Jackson in his tracks. And a punt coming up. So, interesting, we were talking with Sean Corcoran about the special teams. Here's the insight. Isaiah Palmer, who's a cornerback, will kick it away. He's their rugby kicker, Jeff.
And he's built like a rugby player. I'm telling you, he could play for the All Blacks in New Zealand. Look at him.
We've brought up cricket. We've brought up rugby here tonight.
Let's see what else I can bring up. I don't know too many other sports.
All those international players on Golden West have gotten to you, Jeff Gorham. Germany, Spain, Switzerland.
Oh.
I don't think any of those countries play cricket, though. So.
No, they don't. But they might play some bocce ball. I'm pretty good at bocce ball. Have you ever played bocce ball?
I played the bocce like Star Wars, but never played bocce ball.
Never, okay.
Yeah. over in Tashi Station. 4th and 9, and here's the punt coming. Palmer is going to angle it to the near side, and it'll bounce out of bounds inside the 20, so mission accomplished. And that's where RCC will start it up. So the bad news for the Tigers, Jeff, is they've turned the ball over 3 times. 2 interceptions by Irwin, 1 by Jacob Barlage. The good news is the defense, although playing a short field, has played around each one of those turnovers.
Yeah, they've done pretty good. But I'm telling you, Coach Kraft, the offensive mind that he is, let's see who he brings out this time at quarterback.
So our friend Jamon McGlory is in the backfield. Retzlaff split out to the near side. Near slot is Laurent. Now they'll have a trips formation as Whitener comes over to the near side. Here's the play action throw to Retzlaff. Retzlaff with the completion will dive over the 25 to approximately the 27. So a 7-yard swing pass pickup on first down.
I'll tell you, Retzlaff brings his lunch pail every single game. He's the one guy you can rely on. He was great against San Bernardino. He was great against Long Beach.
2 by 2, Giovanni Sanders in the far slot. 2nd and 3, play action. Irwin launching it down the field. He's got a man. Complete. Sanders still on his feet, and Sanders goes down at the 30-yard line. 44-yard pickup. So Irwin redeeming himself from the interception, the hookup to Giovanni Sanders out of Murrieta Mesa.
A great pass. Released his hands. There's nobody around him for 5 yards. And that's where Golden West did not want to happen. They did not want the deep ball tonight.
Good protection, too, when they caught him in one-on-one coverage. 1st and 10 RCC from the 30. They flipped the field. McGlory in the backfield, 2 by 2. As far as the receivers go, here's Jamon dancing. Jamon, he will not stop. Touchdown, Tigers.
Well, we saw that young man play for Arlington, and you and I always thought he'd be playing on Saturdays. And he is something special at times. Love to see him getting in the ballgame and doing some business.
You know, it's so refreshing to see him succeed because he had 2 things working against him. One was his size, and 2, he was a bit of a late bloomer. It wasn't until his senior year that Rich Lunsford, the head coach, Arlington, said, hey, we're going to build our team around Jamon McGlory. He had a great senior year, but wasn't on a lot of radars before that. As Chavez on for the PAT. Kick is up and good, 7-0 Tigers. So with 4:31 to play in the first quarter, RCC, after some fits and starts, gets on the board. Look at that drive. Retzlaff kind of starts it off with a little bit of energy getting to the 26, and here's the big play as Irwin, with protection, flips the field to Giovanni Sanders, who brings the ball to the 30-yard line, and then our good friend Jamon McGlory, he did the rest. Look at the juke step, puts his foot on the ground and pumps the other way. 30-yard touchdown run for the Arlington graduate, and it's 7-0 RCC.
Well, that's finally what we've seen and come to love from Riverside is that quick scoring, potent offense. Like to see them get going here tonight because so far in this first quarter, it hasn't been lovely, but this last series has been great for the Tigers.
Yeah, Golden West kind of befuddled the offense a little bit, and I think it's because it's a unique look. That 3-2-6 is a very different look than RCC is used to seeing. And Golden West, we were down on the field. They got some athletes out there.
They do have some dudes. Not a huge team. You look at the size team compared to Riverside. Riverside fills the sideline. Golden West, though, like you said, some big-time athletes on that program.
Ralph Jones and Tanner Branson deep for the return, and it'll go for a touchback. And that's where the Rustlers will start. So the Rustlers have had some pretty advantageous field position, Jeff, on the first 3 drives. Weren't able to get anything done. Now they will have to traverse 80 yards, try to get into the end zone.
And this could be really big for Riverside's defense to stymie this offense even more than what we've seen so far tonight.
And Tom Kraft talked about this early in the season when we talked with him, how against Fullerton in a 16-7 win, the defense kind of uplifted the offense. And then against San Bernardino Valley in the first half, the defense kind of was all over the place, but the offense kind of kept it going, and they settled in, and they put 58 points on the board. 1st and 10 from the 20. Here's the give to Morant. And Morant is going to be lassoed down inside the 20-yard line. Making the play for RCC, Kue Olatoa, sophomore from Orange Lutheran.
One of those Trinity League guys.
A lot of zone blocking for the Rustlers, and Olatoa wasn't having any of it. He said, I found my spot. I found the ball carrier.
Correction, a second and 16.
So a 6-yard loss makes it 2nd and 16 for Golden West, and a flag thrown.
Illegal formation on the offense. 12 men breaking the huddle. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So George Arredondo, our white hat tonight, saying that too many Rustlers were on the field. That's kind of how they do it. If you're trying to rustle cattle, you need as many people as possible, right, Jeff?
Yeah, you are, but you're supposed to run around whatever you're rustling,
Right,
isn't it?
right.
And 12 Rustlers.
2nd down and 21. Lewis rolling. Lewis in trouble. He'll throw the ball. Nearly intercepted. Incomplete. Making the play on the football for RCC was Bowens. Jalen Bowens looked like he had that in his breadbasket, just couldn't quite reel it in. Ooh. No wonder he was slapping himself on the helmet.
I'm telling you, he's going to watch this tonight and not be too happy.
3rd and very long. Ball on the 14-yard line. Split out to the near side is Jeremiah Wright in the near slot. KC Carr also split out David Atencio. Lewis trying to escape. Lewis turns it upfield, maybe the original line of scrimmage. 4th down upcoming. So they'll give him to the 21, which will make it a 4th and 9. And Nathaniel Espinosa, the sophomore, he's a starting quarterback for Golden West. He's more of a dual threat, whereas Lewis, who has 88 pass attempts on the year, just more the traditional drop back passer. Shows us athleticism there. 3 and out. Max Casper back on for Golden West. Spent last year at Orange Coast College where he was a kicker. Punt angling. Dorso fields it at midfield. Will twist forward for about 8 on the return. Tackle made on the play by Seau Amor. Amor from Hawaii. Konawaena High School. And RCC will start in Golden West territory. So Golden West got the chance to start twice in RCC territory, once at midfield, came up with 0 points. And now the Tigers starting with the short field, Jeff.
And that could be dangerous. That could lead to some problems for the Rustlers here.
As you can see, we have a new bottom line. Chafee with a lead over Santa Ana. 10 minutes left in the first quarter there. 1st and 10 from the 42. Irwin steps up in the pocket. Irwin delivers the ball to the outside, incomplete. Short hop by Giovanni Sanders. Coverage on the play by Richard Manuzzi, the freshman. He's another freshman from Hawaii. Hawaii and the Pacific Northwest are a couple of pipelines for Huntington Beach. And what Coach Nick Mitchell was telling us, with the proliferation of all the junior colleges, it's become much more competitive for Orange County players. Now, obviously, the big schools, St. John Bosco, Model Day, they send most of their kids to D1 and FCS schools. So the competition is just intensified. McGlory ripping off about another 10 yards. He'll get inside the 30.
And we've seen Riverside use 8 backs in a game. But I'll tell you what, you keep going to McGlory here. He's going to earn a lot more of that playing time.
Well, how about the big boys up front? I mean, the big boys up front, they're just teeing off now. Big Kevin Brown missed last week's game against Grossmont. He's back. Donnie Long, Cole Sane, just firing off. Player down for Golden West. Daniel Lamatia, the freshman, he's a Riverside kid. Played at La Sierra for Gary Hedlund.
Nice.
Well, not nice that he's down.
No, but nice to see a local guy.
I enjoyed your talk with Coach Hedlund, by the way, a couple weeks ago on the coach's perspective.
Great guy.
Before they played Norte Vista. The game didn't go so well.
No, it was not one of their finer moments. But I'll tell you what, just one of those class guys in the area. He comes from a football background, but really cares for all of his players. And
you guys had a very good game last night, yourself and Nick Rice.
He called a great one.
Dennis Brown, he's gotten John W. North going in the right direction, setting up that big showdown next week with North and Pollard.
Yeah, and those two guys are the best of friends. Remember, Dennis Brown was the head coach at Poly, and Coach Rice was the coach at North.
Well, and my understanding is that if Coach Rice hadn't gotten the Poly job, he was all set to join Dennis Brown's staff at North, right?
He was going to be an assistant over there, so was Bill Powell was going to join him as well. But I'll tell you what, hey, let's talk about the Day of the Dead, Gazal. Dia de los Muertos, Saturday, November 2nd from 1 to 10 p.m. It's a family-friendly evening. It's free. It's the 16th annual, and they have Aztec dancers, altars that represent people that have passed, dance performers, food, Katrina pageant, and live music. For more information, dial 951-784-3111 or go to RiversideDayOfTheDead.com. In fact, tonight, Riverside Halloween Fest is going on in White Park as we speak.
I will be at Day of the Dead next week, but you won't be able to recognize me, but I will be in disguise.
You will be in disguise?
Just to let you know.
Are you going to wear a mask?
Maybe. Line is the 31st and 10, 7-0 RCC. Playing around some sloppy play on offense in the first half. Irwin with time. Now it closes up. And he'll just take it himself. And Irwin will get wrestled down inside the 20. First man to him looked like Malo was chasing him down. And Irwin again. Irwin, the RCC quarterback, more of a dual threat. He can run, he can throw. Good protection, but then good coverage downfield. And then finally swallows it up. Coming over making the play was Manuzzi for Golden West. So all the way to the 18, another first down, 1st and 10 RCC. So after some early trouble, some early sloppiness, they've been clicking pretty well the last two drives. Here comes the blitz. Irwin to the corner. Touchdown! He didn't come down with it, so they're going to say incomplete. Dylan Laurent was the intended receiver. I thought he had reeled it in, but the official does not agree. Now we'll get a second look at it. So Laurent, well, yeah, he's still fighting for it here. 1-2, he's got 2 feet down, doesn't have control of the ball. That's a good call. He's still fighting, though. Great effort by Laurent. Ball at the 18, 2nd and 10. Down to 1:58 to play here in the first quarter. Irwin. Over the middle. Sanders. Immediately met, as soon as he catches the football, Jordan Chambers comes over. Chambers, the freshman from Western High School in Davie, Washington, was a redshirt last year at Division II Florida Tech. That's in Melbourne, Florida. Chambers had 3 tackles and a sack last week in a win over Orange Coast College. 5-yard pickup makes it 3rd and 5. Line is the 13 of Golden West. Trying to go up by 2 scores is RCC. 3rd down play. Irwin. He'll have the first down. And he'll get pushed back. We'll see where they mark it. If they mark it to the 5, he's got the first down. And it will be. Well, maybe not. He needed to get to the 4, it looks like. And so he's going to be marked just inside the 6. Yeah, he got those extra 2 yards. Chambers hit him, and then Irwin kept surging, so he did get it. 1st and goal, line is the 7. Retzlaff split out to the near side. Laurent in the near slot. Sanders to the far slot. Sanders, the dig route, touchdown. Giovanni Sanders just ran that drag across the middle of the end zone, and Mike Irwin found him out of the far slot.
Boy, and Irwin, you got to really appreciate he is willing to give up his body and run the ball, dual threat like you said, but he is so patient outside the pocket. Great pass. That's what makes him special.
When Jacob Barlage is in, the offense seems to run more frenetically. Irwin definitely a calming influence, his experience, athleticism, kind of just keeps it. Seems like everything's moving real fast, but he keeps it. reasonable and the PAT is good. Doesn't ever seem to panic, always seems to know exactly where he needs to go. Seems to be unfazed by pressure. They had pressure up the gut and just takes the run down inside. Then he hands the ball to McGlory. McGlory does a nice job moving even further, playing the short field. Then Irwin again, his coverage is pretty good. He'll get the first down here. We'll ride a couple of extra yards after the contact, and then he'll find Sanders here for the touchdown. Look at the block in front by Jamon McGlory. Great job on blitz pickup by Jamon McGlory to set up that touchdown pass. So looks like whatever problems they had early in the first quarter, Jeff, they've sorted out.
They've definitely shored up what they had with problems in that throwing game. But I'll tell you, McGlory really got him going, I think.
Raphael Jones back deep, along with Tanner Branson for Golden West. Reed booms it. Touchback. My first conversation I had with Coach Tom Kraft this year was coming off that win over Fullerton. He said, you know, Carson Reed was our MVP. And talking with Sean Corcoran, who's a special teams coach for Golden West, you realize at this level, also at the high school level, how important it is to have effective guys on special teams. In fact, Golden West has like a platoon of kickers.
Yeah, I think he said he had 4 different punters.
Well, he's got 2 punters, 2 kickers, and they have two kickoff guys, 2 punters, and a place kicker.
Yeah, they've got everything.
We're in an age of specialization, Jeff Gorham. From the 25, 1st and 10, lone setback Devin Jackson for the Rustlers. 3 receivers to the far side. Lewis going to throw. Complete in the seam. Nice run after catch over the 45-yard line. Ball was complete to Jeremiah Wright. Tackle on the play, Jalen Bowens for RCC. So they got to the 45, 20-yard pickup on the play. Jeremiah Wright had signed out of high school with Glendale College in Arizona, but then ended up at Golden West. Interesting story. He played his first 3 years of high school for a 8-man team. Had a big senior year, though. From the 46, 1st and 10. Jackson trying the middle and won't have much treading. Maybe to the line of scrimmage.
Now, have you ever watched 8-man football?
Yes, I have.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's quick. It's fast-moving. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. 14-0 for RCC. The story in the first quarter, 3 interceptions by Golden West. They weren't able to convert any of them into scores. And then RCC, their last 2 possessions, moved down the field pretty quickly. Get a shot at Tom Kraft talking to Jacob Barlett here at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they finally started to kind of get going. And I honestly believe it was due to their running game. And that was because McGlory really opened up a lot.
Much is made of how RCC is able to throw the ball. They went over 600 yards last week in that game against Grossmont, but the running game is really predicated on the big boys up front. Kevin Brown, Donnie Long, Ryan Suliafau, Cole Sane, Christian Connolly. We'll get help from Ryan Rowe as well. Theo Bullard has seen some time. The offensive line just doing a bang-up job for RCC in the first quarter. But the first real movement for Golden West as well, now they're at the 46-yard line. They've gotten the ball in very good field position a couple times off turnovers, but haven't really been able to advance it. 4 receivers set up in the formation for Golden West. Split out to the far side, Adam Armstrong. The trips to the near side, Casey Carr, Jeremiah Wright, David Atencio. 2nd and 10. Jackson bounces off the left side. He's got some space. Pretty agile for a big guy. Now he's pushing and moving the pile down inside the 33. Tigers finally bring him down. Rumbling like old Pete Johnson. Remember back in the old days for the Bengals and the Chargers?
I do. Yeah, he was moving pretty darn good.
So 24-yard pickup for Devon Jackson. Jackson from the Seattle, Washington area had signed with D2 Central Washington out of high school. He won 2 state titles in high school as a receiver. He's about 20 pounds lighter. He was a wide receiver, but up to about 240 now, and they got him as a bruising kind of physical running back. So the Rustlers to the 30. 1st and 10. Morant back in the backfield. They'll toss to Morant. He'll try the left side. Now he'll reverse his field, find some space, not much.
Taken there by number 32, Dave Morant.
Couple of yards on the play. I believe Navarro Silva was the first man to him. And our old buddy Edward Calhoun cleaned him up. Nice to see Calhoun back.
And 9 for the Rustlers.
We didn't see him in the first 2 games. Young Mr. Calhoun, the sophomore from the previously aforementioned John W. North High School.
And part of the Calhoun family that has been around forever and ever and ever in Riverside.
I thought he was no relation. I thought he was from a different. I thought his family was friends with Doug Dubois.
Is he the one?
Yeah.
The one exception?
Maybe. I could be wrong, though. When it comes to Riverside, I always tend to believe you, Jeff.
Yeah,
you know everything. That's Morant diving over the middle, maybe 3.
Yeah, there are more Calhouns than you could throw a stick at that have gone through John W. North High School.
Morant started his career in Siskiyou Community College in Weed, California. Back in 2016, he had 433 yards, had some injury trouble, and then got his academics in order. And finally, it was an interesting call Nick Mitchell was telling us. We'll tell you after the play, 3rd and 5 coming up. The line is the 24. They need to get inside the 20 for the first down. Jackson shifts in the backfield. Here comes the pressure. Over the middle, incomplete. And I think they're going to get a flag on Fitzgerald. He got tangled up with Hobbs. He saw the ball, saw the man, kind of got in between, unfortunately, a little bit too early. So the foul looks like it's going to go against Huntington Beach.
That's one you don't hear too often.
Now, on 3rd down, I would have thought they would have declined to make it 4th, but they were in field goal range, so the Tigers will push them back to the 39-yard line. It's still 3rd and 19. So that's Carr to the near side. Split out to the far side is Jeremiah Wright. In the far slot is Trevor Hobbs, the tight end. 3rd and 19. They need to get to the 20. Swing pass out of the backfield to Jackson. He'll break the first wave of tacklers, but will stumble forward just inside the 40. So maybe back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Punting unit coming out for Golden West. For all the trouble that RCC's offense had early, the defense has had no such challenge. They've been very good in the beginning of the game, Jeff.
Oh, they've been solid the entire time. Other than the one pass that went for 25 yards, they have really shored up this Rustlers offense.
Isaiah Palmer, the punter, had an interception earlier, the freshman from Edison High in Huntington Beach. A rugby-style kick. Will bounce at about the 15, fielded by Dorso. And Dorso gets through the first wave. He's got a convoy. Dorso to midfield. Dorso. Sir, yes, sir. Dorso in command. An 86-yard punt return for a touchdown. How about that, Jeff Gorham?
That's Tiger football. A lot of fun. That's what you expect.
And, you know, we were talking with Sean Corcoran before the game. We were joking around. They've had some issues on special teams, mostly on the punt team, but not generally on the coverage. And Dorso just makes a play there for RCC.
And ran behind those blocks. It was a great, great run.
Chavez pumps it through to make it 21-0. Let's get another look at it. So the ball bounces at about the 20. In fact, he scooped that up on the hop. It was a true hop that came up to him, and then he was off to the races. The last man with a shot is Palmer, the punter, and then the touchdown for RCC.
Beautiful night here in Riverside, though. Feels like fall, finally. It was a little warm today, though.
Dorso's longest punt return before that one had been 47 yards. Been averaging about 10 yards a return, which is pretty good. But anytime you're in the 80s.
That just upped his average quite a bit.
Was Robert De Niro saying, Goodfellas? A little bit, Jeff.
Just a little bit. Little bit.
Well, the Tigers, the state coaches poll had them tied at number 1 with San Mateo.
How do you tie?
But the national poll had them number 1. Well, because they got the same number of votes.
I think that's silly.
The SIDs still had them number 1.
Good. Thanks, Nico.
So 21-0 RCC. Reminds me of the great sports writer formerly with the LA Times. He's out with the San Bernardino Sun now. His name is Mike Terry. Terry he covered everything from, Major League Baseball to the NBA to high school football. And this is Jones bringing it out of the end zone. Jones up the middle. And Jones gets stopped at the 35-yard line. Last line of defense was Torrance Hill, dropping Raphael Jones. So 1st and 10 from the 35. Mike was a big golfer back then. Any day he wasn't working, he was golfing. And he said, it's not how you drive, it's how you arrive.
Now, see, I'm a golfer, but I don't ever use a wood. I just play easy golf. I'm not a par golfer, though.
From the 35, play action. Lewis rolling right. And he'll just burn the down. Flag comes in. So we'll sort out the flag. And the defense for RCC, they've been playing well today.
An eligible receiver downfield on the offense. Number 76. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
So back it off 5 yards. The play fake was so good that one of the linemen was downfield for Golden West. And when these plays are on timing, sometimes the linemen are going on what they're watching the defense do a little bit and might have gotten bluffed out. Spencer Blake, he was an all-conference player. He's a Newport Harbor kid. 1st and 15 from the 30 of Golden West. Rustlers trail this one 21-0. Morant right up the middle. He'll get about 4 yards on the play. Zach Barola makes the play for RCC. Tajay Morant, the Georgian. So they gave him the 5. They gave him all the way to the 35. So a 5-yard pickup by Morant. And now Jackson in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side. Carr, Hobbs, Atencio. And then split out to the top of the screen is Ojalabi. John Ojalabi, the freshman from Western High in Anaheim. Lewis steps into it. Atencio reels it in but goes right down. He hit the ground over the 40-yard line for about 7-yard pickup. Atencio is a sophomore from Edison High in Huntington Beach, had 31 catches last year. Another look at the play. Oh, Bowens nearly got a hand on it. So 3rd and 3. Atencio tore his ACL before his junior year in high school, had reconstructive surgery in Austria. It is a procedure called LARS, ligament augmentation and reconstructive surgery.
That sounds like the Bionic Man, Steve Austin.
We'll get back to it. There is a bionic aspect to it. 3rd and 3. Lewis threw Atencio's hands and it's incomplete. 4th down coming up. Kobe Fitzgerald on the coverage. Check that instead. It's Isaiah Pau on the coverage for RCC. 4th down upcoming. So normally, when you get an ACL, and you know a little bit about this, it's a 9 to 12-week procedure. What they do is they use synthetic ligaments. His turnaround time from surgery to getting back to football was 12 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. The surgery cost $25,000. The family had to raise about $10,000 of that just from friends and relatives to be able to get out to Austria to have the surgery. But looks no worse for the wear, making that catch.
Synthetic ligaments. I think I need synthetic ligaments throughout my entire body.
I don't think you'd still be playing if you'd gotten the synthetic ligaments. High snap. Casper trying to make something happen, and what a job. Well, it would have been great for him to get the kick off. He got the kick away, but it was a short kick. We'll go down to Brian Wilson. He's got something on the RCC sideline.
Hey guys, yeah, just something interesting I saw down here on the sidelines. Both Jacob Barledge and Mike Irwin were warming up on the sidelines. Looks like Coach Kraft wants to keep both of them ready. Might send one of them in, might send both of them in. Who knows at this point? Back to you guys.
So the net on that punt, Jeff, is going to be 1 yard.
It, like you said, looked good, got out of it.
Yeah, as soon as he got outside the area, as soon as he got to the number, I thought he was going to be able to boom one, but went off the side of his foot. So from the 42, 1st and 10. That's McGlory in motion, and it is Irwin. Little tunnel screen over to McGlory. Nice move by Jamon. Over the 40, spun down inside the 40. We'll get to about the 37-yard line. 5 yards to Jamon McGlory.
Jamon, man. That was awesome. Great stop there.
Jam on whole wheat. Remember that?
Yes.
The old Weird Al Yankovic spoof of Bad by Michael Jackson. So they gave him 6, 2nd and 4. Line is the 36. Play action, Irwin. Complete to the sideline. And then nice run after catch. Mr. Reliable, Reggie Retzlaff. Retzlaff will take the ball inside the 30 to the 26. 10-yard pickup, move the sticks. Great job, Irwin. Irwin is just great throwing that out, Jeff.
Oh, and that's where he's at his best. He really is. He gets the ball out of his hands so quickly.
3 receivers to the near side, split out to the far side, Retzlaff. Then flexed is Laurent. In between them is Leith. Here comes pressure. Irwin stepping up, and he'll go down and lose the football. Ball on the turf. Officials will say Rustlers football. Making the hit for Golden West was Steven Cruz.
Recovered by the visitors, 1st down.
Cruz, the sophomore from Santa Ana, had 5 tackles when these teams got together last year. Watch him as he trails, and he drops Irwin and strips the football away, and the ball was loose. There was a scramble for it, and Golden West came up with it. Cruz playing this year at 6'3", 225. Graduated high school in 2017, Jeff. When he graduated high school, he was 275 pounds. So he's dropped 50 pounds between 2017 and now, and makes him much more mobile as far as a pass rusher for the Golden West Rustlers.
Boy, he was very quick. Losing 50 pounds. Whew, that's a lot of weight to lose.
So 4th turnover of the game for RCC, but they lead 21-0. 1st and 10 from the 30. Delayed handoff to Morant. Runs through the first bit of tackle. Maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. Somebody lost a helmet. The big fella, A.J. Talafa'u, has his helmet knocked off, so he's going to have to come off for a play. 2nd and 10. And that's the one thing about RCC. Man, they can get pressure with 3 men. When your front 3 can occupy blockers like that, just the linebackers, all they need to do is come in and fill those gaps. Second and 10. Here's the circle route. This is complete to Atencio. Atencio with a move, gets outside, surges through a couple of tacklers before Fitzgerald finally brings him down at the 38-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and short. The young man, David Atencio, with the reconstructed ligaments in his knee. So they're not having much luck going right at RCC, Jeff. They're going to try to work the perimeter.
Yeah, because they're not getting anything off tackle tonight, and they are going to throw these little tunnel screens.
So Jeremiah Wright split out to the near side. Atencio in the far slot. Carr split out to the far side. The tailback for Golden West has been Valier, and Valier will make the carry. And Valier will surge for the 1st down up to the 43.
Ball taken there by number
Ben with 2 N's. He's a freshman out of Fountain Valley High School, so he's a Baron.
You said Ben with 2 N's?
Ben with 2 N's, B-N-N. So 1st and 10 for Golden West, trying to convert a turnover finally. They've got 4 of them. And Valier, with a little more meat to him, burst through the middle of the line for about 4 more. So Morant, who goes about 190, was trying the middle and wasn't having much trouble. Valier is a little bit heavier. He's 205, 210, maybe a little more bulk to him, finding the holes a little bit easier. So call it 3 or 4. The ball moves to the 47. 2nd and 6. They'll go right back up the middle again. He'll surge to midfield. I believe he crossed into RCC territory, and he did just barely by the nose of the football, so 3.5 more yards. So it'll be a short 3 as Valier's going to, after carrying the ball 3 times, will tap the helmet and come out of the ball game. Good idea by Mitchell. I think the strategy of being physical with RCC is the way to go.
Yeah, you're going to have to. I mean, you want to eat up clock. You do not want to get the ball back into the Tigers' hands. And if you've got strong backs that can eat clock and get you these first downs in possible field goal territory, that would be great for the Rustlers.
3rd down from midfield. Lewis completes the ball on the outside. It'll go out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. Adam Armstrong, the freshman from Laguna Beach, hauls it in. Reception number 17 on the year for him, and that'll move the sticks yet again. So 16-yard pickup to the 34-yard line.
And that 16-yard pickup base, I think, was because of that running game that we've seen, the power, it definitely opened it up for the passing game here.
So Carr split out to the far side. He'll be stacked with Hobbs, Astencio in the near slot, and Armstrong split out to the near side for the Rustlers. 1st and 10 from the 34. Dancing is Lewis down the field, triple coverage, incomplete. Intended receiver was Adam Armstrong. So 2nd and 10 upcoming. Nice job by our crew in the truck. And the bottom line, I guess it debuted yesterday in the high school game.
Yeah, we had all kinds of scores all
Lewis
night long.
Dancing around. Yeah, threw that out of bounds. I didn't have much of a chance. You know, conference season has started in the National Southern. These are 2 teams that won their first conference game. RCC and Golden West. Saddleback also 1-0. Southwestern, OCC, and Grossmont all 0-1. Here's the give to Devin Jackson. Jackson may get to the 31.
Yeah, in fact, I'm looking forward to seeing Saddleback this year. They've got Chance Nolan. If you remember, Chance Nolan played for Paloma Valley, was a great quarterback. He's doing a phenomenal job.
Well, and that's a huge matchup because that would be the regular season finale. So if both teams take care of business, meaning RCC and Saddleback, that would mean 2 undefeated teams. Both would be 9-0 playing that last game in Mission Viejo on the 23rd of September, the Saturday before Thanksgiving. 3rd and 8. Ball needs to get to the 24. Lewis looking downfield. Incomplete. Intended receiver in the vicinity was John Ojalabi. So from the 32, 4th down upcoming. Holyfield, I believe, applying the pressure. Instead, that was Alex Oyawale. And they're going to keep the offense on the field. They have pretty good confidence in their field kicker, Jose Arredondo, but his range is about 42 and in. So this right now would be about a 49-yard attempt, Jeff. So here we go, 4th and 8 from the 32. Lewis flings it to the outside. And he did catch it 1st down. Reeled in by Jeremiah Wright. They needed to get inside the 25, which I believe they did. Better look here. Ooh, I don't know. Did he have control of that?
I'm not too sure if he did.
So 1st and 10, the Rustlers advance it on 4th down.
Pick up a 1st down.
from the 24, 1st and 10, and then flags come in. 21-0 RCC, 4:18 to play in the first half.
Offense, number 5, the 5-yard penalty, first down.
George Arredondo tells us that a little premature movement for the Rustlers, so you'll back it off 5 yards. 4 turnovers in the first half, Jeff, by RCC, yet they lead this game 21-0.
Yeah, pretty unheard of. I mean, 3 interceptions. Yes, very, very strange game, to say the least, to start this one. But still with 21 points on the board, but that defense has really stymied the Rustlers tonight.
A change up front for Golden West. Julian Pordanish, the freshman from Corona Del Mar, in at left tackle. Here's Jackson slamming to the left side, running behind Pordanish. He'll get to about the 26. Julian's father, Shariar, played in the NFL. He was an Irvine kid, played at University High, and then went on to play junior college football, played at the University of Nevada, and then played in the NFL for the Redskins and for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Julian is down now. His younger brother, Alex, a running back on the team, is missing the season from an injury. They both started their career at university playing for their dad's alma mater, but then in an attempt to kind of play for better competition, they decided to move over to Corona Del Mar, and Dad was with it. Dad at the time was an assistant coach at university, and he told his kids, he said, hey, if you believe this will make you better, you need to compete better. You got to do what you got to do. And because he'd played the game at a high level, he played college football, and he played professional. So he understood, in this day of transferring, a lot of times there's some capricious reasons that kids transfer. But he looked him in the eye and said, if you're honestly telling me the reason you want to transfer is because you want a better level of competition, well, I can go with that.
Yeah, that's a pretty darn good dad, especially if he's coaching you.
What if Connor told you that? Like, what if Connor's playing for you and he said, Dad, I want to go play for Mike Barty because I think I'll play better competition. Would you let him go?
I'd say sure, because I think I would love to play. I would love to have played for Mike Barty.
I had to pick a respected coach, right? I couldn't just pick anybody.
There's a few coaches I would play for. In fact, I will say this: we lost a legend this week. Mm-hmm. John Dahl, the longtime basketball coach at Moreno Valley, 36 years at the helm of Moreno Valley.
Family friend of your dad's too, right?
Very good friend of the family. We lost him this week. And so, just very tough for John Dahl. So our heartfelt condolences go out to the Dahl family, Eric, Jay, and their mother. So, the great John Dahl, Riverside and Moreno Valley staple.
So the player, Julian Pordanish, is going to walk off the field. He had just come in and kind of got his leg cut almost by his own man, it looked like there. Yeah, that's not fun. Landed on top of an RCC player, kind of twisted. No, he's probably his back there, too. You got about 240 pounds of Devin Jackson riding your back. That can't be fun either. But nice to see him get off the field. And his dad, Sweet University High School in Irvine, California, right by where I went to undergrad at UC Irvine. I'd run on their track every once in a while.
That's right. Next to the campus there.
I know Bill Mulligan probably wanted you to come there, but you wouldn't because you wouldn't wear saddle shoes.
I do wear saddle shoes now that I'm an announcer. I will wear them to games, especially when Irvine plays. I always wear my saddle shoes.
Did Bill ever coach RCC?
He did.
That's right. 2nd and 12. Lewis lofts it up there, tipped, incomplete. Dorso, who had the punt return for the touchdown earlier, makes the play, bringing up 3rd down for the Rustlers. They already converted on a 4th down in this drive. Pressure coming from the outside, had to get rid of it, threw in a double coverage. Ooh, how about the air there? Talk to Jim Woldridge, maybe get him on Phil Smith's roster.
Man, holy cow, he got up pretty good.
I would imagine Sean Dorso, he's 5'11", he'd probably come close to dunking a basketball. 3rd and 12. Over the middle, complete to Hobbs. Hobbs lowers the shoulder, dives forward inside the 5. Tackle made by Kue Olatoa for RCC. A clutch 3rd down pickup, and Zach Lewis, the quarterback for Golden West, Jeff, seems to be finding a rhythm.
Yeah, they've looked a lot better here in this last drive and taken up a lot of time, but just a perfect pass over the top there.
1st and goal from the 4. Morant bounces off tackle, and he's brought down. First man there for RCC. Sevilla Vitu Logoleo. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Le Moonga, actually. 46, not 45. Le Moonga out of Vista Murrieta. Second and goal, line is the 4. Golden West trying to get into the end zone. Morant this time will get in. Touchdown, Golden West. 4-yard run for Tajay Morant. And the running game, which had stalled a little bit for the Rustlers, they get into the end zone, but a couple of nice throws, one on 4th down, one on 3rd down. Zach Lewis makes a couple of plays to extend that drive for Golden West.
Yeah, Zach Lewis really found his groove. But I'll tell you what, you've got to credit the big guys up front and the big backs that they brought in to really spread that field open for them to be able to pass the ball against this potent defense.
PAT is blocked. So a block by RCC, and we talked with your guy Sean Corcoran about this. We'll get a look at the turnover here. This is what set up the drive. Steven Cruz strips the ball, and then they go to the ground a little bit to kind of loosen up the RCC defense. The fullback, Ben Valier, with 3 straight runs, and then Lewis kind of settles in a little bit, completes this pass to Adam Armstrong, which gets him a little bit of space, and then throws to the outside. Nice catch. We weren't sure it was quite a catch by Wright, and then finally Morant dances into the end zone on his second try. Remember, starting quarterback Nathaniel Espinosa unable to answer the bell this evening due to a high ankle sprain, so Zach Lewis stepping in. He'd thrown 88 passes already on the year. The redshirt freshman, the bounce back from the University of Nevada. As this game has gone on, he's really settled in, looking pretty confident on that last drive. 21-6, and RCC gets the ball back. And here's the return for RCC. Bounce into the outside. Still on his feet, near midfield. Martinique Finn with the return for RCC.
I mean, he was right at the goal line. That was a 48-yard return.
Yeah, took it from the goal line to the 48, so good field position, 225. You know, with the way RCC plays, that is an eternity.
Yes, it is.
So Mike Irwin back out. We saw Jacob Barlage for one drive, as we'll get a look at Martinique Finn. And Finn just kind of up the right side, running through a couple of tackles. There's one thing that Nick Mitchell told me, and he runs the defense. He said, we really need to be sure-handed on our tackling today. This is McGlory. McGlory still keeping his balance, dives forward to about the 41. So another first down for Jamon McGlory. They reset the ball, clock moves. 1st and 10 from the 41. McGlory right up the middle. Surges inside the 35 to the 34, 7 more yards.
Well, he has been special tonight for the Tigers.
They go right back to Jamon. This time he won't get much room. Nicholas Kaufman makes the tackle. He's one of the international students for Golden West from Lübeck, Germany. So we talked about Alex Reich already from Switzerland. They have a player from Barcelona as well, and then a player from Germany coming in to play some football. I mean, moving to Huntington Beach is a pretty good excuse.
Yes.
Right? So call it 3rd and 4. Here comes pressure. Irwin steps up, launches the ball down the field, and it's complete to Laurent. Laurent hauls it in at the 5-yard line. 29-yard completion. Bearing down on him was Ralph Jones from behind. Irwin stepped up and just threw a dart to Dylan Laurent, who's had a couple of big games in a row for RCC. And I can't say enough about how the big boys up front have been doing for RCC. Ryan Suliafau at center. He'd really been the key on those runs by McGlory. And there they get into a little pass blocking. 1st and goal inside the 5. Irwin keeps it. Touchdown, RCC. How many times have we seen him run that play with the play action and misdirection, and Irwin just takes it to the pylon?
I'll tell you what, we've seen it several times this season. He is such a talent as a pocket player. I mean, he can really, really run. He reads the defense well, sees he has nothing there, and is able to just get to the goal every single time he's within that.
If you're a high school coach, you put that video, and that's textbook how to run read option.
That's exactly what you do in a read option.
Chavez with the PAT, and it's 28-6 RCC. The Rustlers got on the board, Jeff, at 2:35 of the second quarter. We talked about how fast they can score, meaning RCC. A minute 41 later, a touchdown by Mike Irwin. Here's the McGlory, couple of runs, setting it up for RCC. And then the big play to Laurent. Irwin getting pressure but keeps his calm, just flings it downfield. Dylan Laurent splits the coverage. They had help over top, didn't matter. And then the play action or the play fake, and Irwin into the end zone for the Tigers, 28-6. So Irwin with a touchdown pass to Sanders earlier, a touchdown run, and then McGlory with a touchdown run, and then the 86-yard punt return by Sean Darso. So by land, by air, by return.
By everything.
Yeah, different modes of scoring for RCC, ho-hum. And that we haven't even talked about how good the defense has played.
Defense has been phenomenal. I mean, incredible tonight.
Yeah, James Cook can coach a little bit, huh? Defense coordinator for RCC. 28-6 as we are under a minute to play in the first half here at Wheelock Stadium. Thanks for joining us. Ghazal Hassan, Jeff Gorham with you, along with Brian Wilson and an entire award-winning Riverside TV crew. Great to be back at Wheelock Stadium. Special year brewing for RCC. Kickoff. Fielded on a hop at the 15 by Tanner Branson. And Branson up to the 23.
Yeah, in fact, the Tigers keep playing well. It could be their second national championship if they can continue to run the table. Last time they won it, I believe, was in 1989.
That'd be 30 years.
There you go.
Branson from Eugene, Oregon, playing for Golden West. And the Rustlers will have 49 seconds to try to make something happen. How would you assess Zach Lewis today? Preston in duty because of the injury to Espinosa. I thought at least after some jitters in the first quarter, he's acquitted himself well here in the second quarter.
I thought he was great here in the second quarter. Like I said, the first quarter a little rough, but I think you credit the defense in that first quarter, and I really do think he's really found his niche. A little more relaxed in the pocket.
So RCC will call timeout. Morant stopped. And we started to tell the story about Morant. His freshman year, he played for Siskiyous Junior College in Weed, California, up in the Sacramento kind of North State area. Ran for over 400 yards and a couple of touchdowns, and then had decided he needed to get academics together and then got hurt. So he'd come down to play last year for Coach Nick Mitchell and got injured and was sorting out. It was a foot injury that he was dealing with, and they weren't sure he's going to be back this year. And Coach Mitchell was telling us before the game, we got a call late July, early August. Hey, Coach, my foot's ready. I'm ready to go. You still need me. And, of course, Coach Mitchell, a man true to his word, said, Mr. Morant, get on down here and we'll see what happens. And it's worked out pretty well for him. Over 300 yards already this year for Morant. And Coach Mitchell believes that the young man has a future because of his clock. Graduated high school in 2016. He'll need to go D2, but he's pretty confident he'll get an opportunity to play football at a college level.
That's a great story there.
The aforementioned Morant bangs to the outside over the 25 to the 28, maybe 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, I really do think a lot of people forget there is other football other than USC, UCLA, and San Diego State here. There's some great football around. You've got the SCIAC, which is University of Redlands, Laverne. That's great football.
I mean, D2 and NIA schools do give scholarship money.
They do.
So if you can go get your education paid for. So we got a replay of the last PAT.
This is the second time this has happened on Riverside TV.
So Cruz, it's so true, it bangs on our camera. We have an end zone camera, and bada bing, there you go.
That's what that was. I thought I was looking at an Argyle sweater. I didn't realize it was the... That's twice that's happened. We're going to bill these guys.
Who do we send the bill to? I saw Jim Williams before the game. I don't know if he's still here now, athletic director for RCC, former head coach of men's basketball at UC Riverside. 3rd and 4. Lewis hauls it downfield, incomplete. Estes one-on-one with Jeremiah Wright, breaks it up, 4th down upcoming. Estes has been super active today, Jeff.
He has, but I'll tell you what. That was nearly a great catch, but even better defense there.
The defense has been pretty stout for the Tigers today. We go back to the first quarter. RCC turned the ball over 3 times, and each time it was from midfield or closer, and Golden West couldn't get a point because of the way the Tigers' defense stepped up and stiffened and played the short field.
In fact, they only had 1 first down in that first quarter.
Casper this time gets away a decent kick. Dorso drifts to the sideline. He'll let it bounce, and he'll go out inside the 30 at the 28-yard line. So about a 43-yard kick, no return. 24 seconds to work with for RCC.
And like you said on the last drive, an eternity for Tom Kraft.
24. If it was 44, yeah.
Yes.
24 because they've already used, I think they have only 1 timeout left.
Yeah,
but they're going to try to move the ball. It's a first half. You never know what will happen. I can't say enough about how the offensive line, though, has played for RCC. Ryan Rowe running out there with Ryan Suliafa'u. Kevin Brown's been out there. Donnie Long, we've seen. Brandon Hendricks, the big fella, played last week, and he's played well this week as well, up front for RCC. Irwin dancing. Going to look downfield. Attempted to get a hold of Laurent, couldn't quite hold it. Branch on the coverage for Golden West College. It's in Huntington Beach.
Yes.
So fluid is Mike Irwin, man. He just looks good playing the position. You know, Oregon kid, so you always think of Mariota.
Of course.
Just in terms of how he played the position when he was up there at Eugene. 2nd and 10 from the 30 for RCC. They lead 28-6. Clock moving. Flushed out. Going to launch downfield. Will Irwin. Got a man, but it's incomplete. Giovanni Sanders was locked up in coverage with Alex Rake, the freshman from Switzerland. 2nd leading tackler for Golden West. Has a couple of sacks as well. Played high school football in Switzerland. How about that?
Yeah, I don't know how good high school football would be in Switzerland.
Well, his AAU team was real good. They have basically AAU equivalent they call it the Central European Football League, and he played for a team there, and the ball's on the turf on the 3rd down play. Irwin will cover it up, and that'll probably just do it for the first half. They'll just let the clock expire, and that'll be the end of the first half. Tigers 28, Rustlers 6. Give me some thoughts, Jeff Gorham.
I'll tell you what, the defense of Riverside was phenomenal in that first half. The offense took a little while, but they finally figured it out as they were going into the second quarter. With the turnovers, they should be happy with walking away with a nice lead here of up 22. But, yeah, I'll tell you what, a very, very good first half by the Tigers.
RCC looking to go to 7-0 and maintain their number 1 ranking. The Rustlers looking to go over 500. They're 1-0 in league, but 3-3 overall. We'll have some stats for you, and we'll have some highlights from the first half when we come back. Right now, we'll step aside for halftime here on Riverside TV. RCC 28, Golden West 6. Back with the second half of football after this.
Review Commission was created to promote public confidence in the professionalism and accountability of the City of Riverside's Police Department. The Commission consists of an all-civilian panel of members from across the city. The Commission's roles include advising the Mayor and City Council on all police relations issues, reviewing and investigating officer-involved deaths, receiving complaints, and conducting hearings on misconduct against sworn Riverside police officers, making policy suggestions, and bringing community concerns to the attention of the Riverside Police Department. If you're interested in learning more about how you can serve or for information on the Commission, visit riversideca.gov/CPRC.
Here in California, citrus is a part of our lives every day. But what if it all just disappeared? A devastating plant disease called Huanglongbing, or HLB, spread by the Asian citrus psyllid, is fatal for citrus trees, and it might be found in your own backyard. That's why it's important that we all do our part to keep California's citrus safe. Don't let California's citrus disappear. Visit CaliforniaCitrusThreat.org to learn more.
Got junk too big for the trash can? Then call 311 to schedule a bulky item pickup. Riverside residents get 2 free pickups a year, but you gotta follow 3 simple rules. Bulky items must be curbside by 5:30 a.m. the day of your pickup, light enough for 2 people to lift, and the total volume can't be larger than 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot. If you got a lot of junk, check out our bulky item and e-waste drop-off events held several times each year. Bulky item pickup. Call us today and we'll haul it away.
I'm a police officer pilot. I've been with the city for a little over 10 years. I've always loved aviation and I've always loved law enforcement, so to be able to combine the two together, two of the things that I love the most. I've got experience in the background in law enforcement, so to couple that with aviation and fly every day and still do police work, that's why I'm out here. Work day shift 7 to 5. I usually get here a little before 7. We'll get an email on what occurred the previous evening, so I'll go through those. I'll also check temporary flight restrictions, so I'll check those and see if there's any in the area that we can't fly into. And then we'll go out and do a pre-flight on the helicopter. We'll walk around, check everything, make sure everything's functioning properly. And sometimes we're up for patrol. Other times when we're here on the ground, we'll respond to an incident. If a vehicle pursuit or a foot pursuit or something goes out, we'll launch for that. If there's a fire in the river bottom, we'll go up and provide air support for the firemen on the ground. Code enforcement uses us for their green pool flights, so we'll go up and we'll look for green pools. We're assisting a lot of different departments. I'm a 4th generation Riverside resident out of 5 generations now. My family has set roots here back in the 1900s, and I've got a connection to Riverside, so family and friends are here, and it's nice to give back to the community that you've been brought up in. So, if I were to describe my job in 2 words, it would be uniquely awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. I get to fly a helicopter and do something that I really enjoy doing, at the same time protecting and serving a community that I grew up in. So.
Los Novillos is a Mexican market located on Main Street, not far from downtown Riverside. The name means young male bull, which is typically used for its high-quality meat. Alberto Murillo is the owner.
Been in the business for years and years, almost 20 years in the city of Riverside. And always, since I started working, I always dreamed like one day I'll have my own business. And since I'm being in Riverside for so many years, I said, well, this is a good opportunity. So I asked a couple friends, and my brother, hey, this is the opportunity of our life. Do we take it or not? And they're like, yes, go for it.
The store features a good selection of fruits, vegetables, canned goods, meats, and seafood. There's also several kinds of cheese, salsa, and guacamole. Loyal customers who shop here say it's because of their fresh food and great customer service.
I hike at Mount Rubidoux, and I go here every morning to buy fresh ceviche. It's a great market, and they're just gonna get bigger and better, so come shop here.
Usually I'll come in here to buy lunch, but if I need anything for my house, any supplemental groceries, I come in here and I buy everything. Everything's fresh.
Alberto says he trains his staff to treat customers like family. Mercedes Duran is one of his cashiers.
just asking with how are you doing, that makes a really big difference. And just being in a small market, you kind of notice who's who and what are they doing. Sometimes we'll even ask them, like, what are you cooking today? Are you doing spaghetti? Are you doing carne asada? Or, you know, that makes a difference. Yeah.
I wanted the people, when they came, I wanted to feel like welcome, like, oh, this is my house, you know, like this is family. And that's what I wanted to tell all my customers, that they're not just customers, they're guests for me. You know, they're guests, they're my guests, they're my family all the time. When they came, if I know their names, I tell them about their names and everything. I shake hands all day long, and I think they like it.
My name's Lovey Jung, and I work for the City of Riverside Fire Department. I've been here for about 7 years now, and I'm a firefighter paramedic on Engine 1. When I was younger, I actually wanted to be a firefighter, but I ended up getting sidetracked and went and played softball for the Olympic team in 2004 and 2008, and when I retired in 2009, that's when I decided I wanted to switch over to become a firefighter. Usually when I come in, the first thing I do is I check my personal protective equipment, and then I'll also check the medical equipment. Being a paramedic, I have to make sure all my medications are there and that my equipment's working properly, so that when we go on a scene to a medical aid, that everything's in working form and that we're professional on scene. If I were to describe my job in one word, it would be adventurous. Every day is different from day to day, depending on the training or the type of calls that we run. You know, some days we might go on more DUIs, or some days we might go on more traffic accidents. So every day that I come to work is going to be completely different from the day before and the next day. I get to work with a group of people that I enjoy working with and having that camaraderie that I missed from being an athlete. But now, being a mom, I want to be that role model for my daughter to, show her you can be independent and you can have a job that you want to work in, whether it's a male-dominated career or not. And I want her to understand that as she grows up.
We need to make sure our seniors are safe with consistent proper nutrition and healthy foods delivered to their homes.
Elderly patients who do not have proper nutrition have a higher risk of irregular heart rhythms and sepsis.
Riverside's Meals on Wheels program can always use your help. If you can volunteer or donate, you can visit our website and get more information how you can participate, and we thank you.
Do you have unneeded prescription medications and don't know what to do with them? CVS Pharmacy and the Riverside Police Department have a safe and secure drop box located inside the Magnolia Police Station. This free and anonymous service keeps dangerous prescriptions out of the hands of children and abusers while protecting the environment through proper disposal. Most over-the-counter and prescription medications are safe to drop off, however, there are some restrictions. Items such as thermometers, inhalers, aerosol cans, ointments, lotions or liquids, and needles and sharps must be disposed of elsewhere. And please, residential clients only. This service is not for businesses to dispose of their medical waste. Help the City of Riverside keep dangerous prescriptions out of the hands of children and abusers by disposing your unneeded drugs in a safe, secure, and environmentally friendly way. You might have noticed new traffic lights popping up around Riverside, and the Public Works Department wants you to see how they work. First of all, you'll notice the new left turn signals consist of 4 lights: a red arrow, a solid yellow arrow, a flashing yellow arrow, and a green arrow. So how does traffic flow work with these new signals? First, we have the left green arrow, which indicates you have permission to turn left, but oncoming traffic must stop. A solid yellow arrow indicates that the light is about to turn red, and you must be prepared to stop, or if you're already in the intersection, complete your turn when safe. A solid red arrow means you must stop. No left-hand turns are allowed. When the signal changes to a flashing yellow arrow, turns are still permitted, however, you must yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians before proceeding with your turn. These new signals are being introduced nationwide and represent a safer and more efficient way to handle left-turn traffic at busy intersections. The City of Riverside encourages you to learn more about these new traffic signals, and if you have questions, call 311, Riverside's one-stop shop for answers. The City of Riverside has launched Riverside Alert, a mass notification service that allows emergency crews to alert you in the case of an emergency, potential hazard, or safety concern that may directly affect you. When you sign up, you'll receive a message on the voice or text communication method of your choosing. Here's how it works. Begin by creating an account on RiversideAlert.com. Once you've entered your information, you'll be listed to receive alerts. All information you provide will be kept strictly confidential. Riverside Alert allows you to confirm that you've received an alert to prevent the same alert from coming through again. You can also choose to receive notifications about events that may affect you or your loved one's workplace, home, school, and more. Go to RiversideAlert.com and sign up today.
The Community Police Review Commission was created to promote public confidence in the professionalism and accountability of the City of Riverside's Police Department. The commission consists of an all-civilian panel of members from across the city. The commission's roles include advising the mayor and city council on all police relations issues, reviewing and investigating officer-involved deaths, receiving complaints, and conducting hearings on misconduct against sworn Riverside police officers, making policy suggestions, and bringing community concerns to the attention of the Riverside Police Department. If you're interested in learning more about how you can serve or for information on the commission, visit riversideca.gov/CPRC.
Here in California, citrus is a part of our lives every day. But what if it all just disappeared? A devastating plant disease called Huanglongbing, or HLB, spread by the Asian citrus psyllid, is fatal for citrus trees, and it might be found in your own backyard. That's why it's important that we all do our part to keep California citrus safe. Don't let California citrus disappear. Visit CaliforniaCitrusThreat.org to learn more.
Got junk too big for the trash can? Then call 311 to schedule a bulky item pickup. Riverside residents get 2 free pickups a year, but you gotta follow 3 simple rules. Bulky items must be curbside by 5:30 a.m. the day of your pickup, light enough for 2 people to lift, and the total volume can't be larger than 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot. If you got a lot of junk, check out our bulky item and e-waste drop-off events held several times each year. Bulky item pickup. Call us today and we'll haul it away.
Welcome back to Wheelock Stadium. 28-6, the halftime score, and 3 interceptions in the first quarter. 4 turnovers overall in the first half by RCC, but didn't seem to matter. They're still ahead by a score of 28-6. Touchdown, 3 interceptions, 2 thrown by Irwin, 1 by Jacob Barledge, and then a fumble late in the half, but they came to life at the end of the first quarter. First touchdown run by Jamon McGlory, 30 yards at 4:31 of the first quarter, make it a 7-0 game. And then about 4 minutes later, Mike Irwin finds Giovanni Sanders on a 7-yard pass to make it a 14-0 game. They set it up on this run. He gets down to the 7-yard line, and the next play he finds Sanders over the middle on the dig route. Touchdown to make it 14-0, and then 11:46 to play in the second quarter. How about Dorso taking it punt back 86 yards for RCC, and all of a sudden it's a 21-0 game. The defense really stood up for RCC, Jeff, in the first half, playing around those first 3 turnovers. Finally, with 2:35 in the second quarter, Golden West gets on the board. Tajay Morant with a 3-yard run, but then right back the other way. Mike Irwin with a 5-yard run to end that off, and then we lose our end zone camera. To give you an idea, the 15-play, 70-yard drive for Golden West took 5 minutes and 59 seconds. The 3 drives combined for RCC were 5 minutes and 24 seconds. So 111 passing yards, passing with 2 S's, of course, for RCC compared to 101 for Golden West. Total yardage in the first half, 195 for Riverside, 164 for Golden West. But the 4 turnovers for RCC unable to be capitalized. Golden West got 1 touchdown out of those turnovers, and Golden West held the ball for nearly 21 minutes in the first half, while Riverside held the ball for under 10 minutes, yet they still lead it by 28-6. That's the potency of this offense.
And that is exactly what happened. You talked about an eternity with under 2 minutes left in the half, and they scored so quickly. But yes, exactly what Golden West wanted to do is they wanted to control the football. They had the time, they just haven't had the scores.
Branson and Jones deep for the Rustlers. Reed with the kickoff for RCC. Underway here in the second half. This is Raphael Jones, the modern-day product from the 2 up the middle of the field. Nearly broke one in the first half, and he gets pinballed down over the 25-yard line, 27-yard return to the 28, and that's where Golden West will start it. So we talked to Nick Mitchell. I mean, mission accomplished. He said, listen, we want to play ball control. We want to run the ball between the tackles. We want to keep the ball away from RCC. It's just that when RCC has had the ball, they've had touchdown drives of 56 seconds, 80 yards. They went the other one was a punt return, obviously. They went 42 yards in 2 minutes and 40 seconds and 52 yards in 91 seconds.
That's pretty darn effective.
So call it the 29 officially. Morant gets lit up. Kobe Fitzgerald gives him a pretty rude hello. They'll give him forward progress just to the 30-yard line, 2nd and 9. Morant, 25 yards on 11 carries in the first half, did have the touchdown run. Coming into the game, he was averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. So call it 2nd and 9, play action. They'll fling it out to Atencio, who dives down and makes the catch. Should be for a loss. They're going to say incomplete, so it'll just be 3rd down. Atencio looked like short hop. That been a nice play. With the World Series going on.
You know, this is the first time I don't care about the World Series very much. I'm a little disappointed in myself.
Oh, you got the Zombie Expos, and you got the Astros.
There's no, I like West Coast baseball.
3rd down. And down he goes. Lei Mo'unga makes the tackle. He gets the quarterback sack back to the 25-yard line, 4th down.
With that sack, bring up a 4th and long for the Rustlers.
Punt team on the way out. For Golden West, Max Casper, the sophomore from Corona Del Mar, came over to Golden West after playing last year at Orange Coast College. Last year for OCC, he had 5 punts versus Riverside, averaging 36 yards a kick. And this is a good kick. It drives Dorso backpedaling Fields inside the 30. Dorso had the 86-yard return earlier, and he gets away from Reich. He's got some space. He'll get to midfield, finally tackled by Jonathan Earl.
I thought his jersey was going to come off, but I think when he let go of the jersey, it was like a rubber band and shot him out.
And then that happens in Switzerland. Alex Reich, though, did lead Golden West with 4 tackles in the first half, and right at midfield on that beautiful Tiger visage here at Wheelock Stadium, and the offense comes back out for RCC. 1st and 10 from midfield. After the play, we'll throw it down to Brian Wilson. Irwin still in at quarterback, complete to Laurent, short gain. Brian Wilson, what do you got?
Hey guys, yeah, just something to look for in the second half. I did some research, and it turns out that Riverside is in fact a second half team, and they come out strong in the second half. They're outscoring their opponents 153-63 in the second half of games this season. Something to look at as this offense tries to gain some more traction after the first half. Back to you guys.
And to stack on top of that, what Brian Wilson just told us when I talked to Nick Mitchell, second halves have been a problem for Golden West. You didn't feel his team has bought the effort they need to in the second half in some of the games this season. 2nd and 8, a 2-yard pickup on the pass. Here comes the blitz. Stepping up is Irwin. Irwin has the 1st down. Irwin surges over the 35, dives forward. Nice pickup, about 13 yards on the play for Mike Irwin.
And that's why you have Mike Irwin behind center. He can create so many things with that RPO.
Irwin in the first half had a 6-yard touchdown run. So on the year, 48 carries for Mike coming in, 185 yards, and now his 7th touchdown. 1st down and 10, line is the 34. Escaping is Irwin. Launching the ball down the field into the end zone. Incomplete, nearly intercepted.
Batted down, incomplete.
Cody Sauvao makes the play in the end zone, knocking it down the high safety for Golden West. He's a Hawaii kid, played at Kahuku High School in Hawaii. Moses Alei on the chase, and then the near interception in the end zone.
But that's the confidence you have in a quarterback and the confidence you have in your receivers. He threw it there. One guy said, hey, it's going to be a jump ball. I'm going to get it to him. But that is the confidence of Mike Irwin right there.
Sauvao played in the 2016 Open State Final in Hawaii in high school against St. Louis High School. The quarterback that year for St. Louis was Tua Vailoga, who's now playing for Nick Saban. Well, he's not playing now because he's hurt, but he's with Alabama.
That's right.
Timeout RCC.
You know, we have Halloween coming up. We've had tonight, they're celebrating Halloween at White Park. But next week, November 2nd, it is the Day of the Dead from 1 to 10 p.m. at White Park in downtown Riverside. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a fantastic event. It's family friendly. It's free. It's the 16th annual Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos.
I will be there. I'll be in disguise. You probably won't recognize me, but I plan on being there for a little bit. I won't be there for the whole time. I'll show up at some point for Dia de los Muertos.
I want to see you in white makeup and look like one of the skulls. I think you would look good as a skeleton.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna wear like a yellow prison jumpsuit, and then I'm gonna paint my face.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Back to action, 2nd and 10, RCC. Line is the 34. This is Sanders in motion. Retzlaff on the tunnel screen. Inside the 30 to about the 28, so 6 yards on the play.
And there is the other undefeated team, Saddleback, over Orange Coast, over 37-7 at halftime.
So setting up that showdown on November 23rd.
Chance Nolan.
You got Penn State, Ohio State that day. You may end up with RCC and Saddleback. 3rd and 3. Irwin feeling some pressure, trying to escape, chasing him down, and getting the ball away. Incomplete, 4th down. Whitener was the intended receiver.
Whitener Jr. Pass is incomplete.
So line will remain the 27, 4th and 3. I would think Tom Kraft going to leave the offense out there. Irwin getting away. Irwin, remember, an Oregon product. The young man chasing him was Moses Alei from Carson High. 4th and 3 from the 27. Moses' dad, Leroy, played at Oregon for Rich Brooks back in the 80s.
Nice.
4th and 3, and incomplete, and a flag comes in. Reggie Retzlaff, the intended receiver, on the coverage was Jonathan Earl, and I believe it'll be some kind of illegal use of hands, pass interference, or defensive holding, which will allow RCC to keep the football. You know who was calling the Oregon games at the time? Who was the radio guy for Oregon back in the 80s under Rich Brooks?
I don't know. I do not know.
A gentleman named Hal Ramey.
Hal Ramey, father of John Ramey.
Former voice of UC Riverside, and now up at Nevada. Everything comes full circle.
Yes, it does.
2 fouls. On the offense, chop block, number 66 and 51. On the defense, pass interference, number 8. Those penalties will offset. Replay, 4th down.
It's the old-fashioned backyard do-over, Jeff Gorham. Chop block on RCC, pass interference on Golden West. And towel, he stepped on the towel a little bit. That might have thrown Irwin off, but then there's the pass interference penalty on Retzlaff, who sells it well at the end.
I've called a lot of football games this year. I have not heard a chop block called once.
We had 2 in this game.
Yeah.
Sanders in the near slot. Split out to the near side is Whitener for RCC. Laurent flexed out on the far side. Top of your screen is Retzlaff, and timeout Golden West. Nick Mitchell in his 14th season at the helm of the Rustlers. Last year they were 6-5, 3-2 in the National Southern, but still got to go to the SoCal Bowl where they lost to Cerritos 21-9. They've had bowl games in 6 of the last 9 seasons. They missed bowl games in 2017 and 2016. In fact, they played RCC back in 2013 in the SoCal Bowl. RCC won that one on November 23rd of 2013 by a score of 27-17. Huh? 14th year head coach Nick Mitchell. I mentioned your guy, Sean Corcoran, the assistant head coach, linebacker coach, and he runs the special teams. He used to throw him off boats.
He used to throw him off boats. His dad was one of our good friends, like I said, Mark Gard, who's here with us, the former longtime coach at Harupa Valley High School, Supa Dupa Harupa. But
nice to have Mark Gard up here. Very nice man.
Yeah, he's my best friend in the world. And I'm going to say this, I have lots of good friends, but he is my best friend ever. His dad, remember his dad was the head basketball coach at Riverside Poly. Coached a guy named Reggie Miller.
That's right.
Hey, he's pretty good. In fact, Mark Gard got to go to the Hall of Fame ceremony.
From the 27 for RCC, 4th and 3, here's the pressure. Complete to Sanders. First down. Sanders caught the ball at the 23. They needed to get to the 24. Sticks move up. See the replay. First and 10 from the 23. Here's the give to McGlory. McGlory juking, and it'll be brought down inside the 20. Picks up 4 on the play. McGlory in the first half had the 30-yard touchdown run. Now has 7 carries for 63 yards. The sophomore from Arlington High School. You know, it looks like Moses Alley is down on the field for Golden West College. Alley, the freshman from Carson, California. You know, Nick Mitchell's had to deal with a lot of injuries this year, particularly on the defensive side of the football. But Moses Alley, he's got mentioned his dad, really interesting football lineage. His older brother Roman is a quarterback for Sacramento State, but his dad and his 2 uncles, his uncle Ruben is an assistant coach. He was a Carson High standout at LA Harbor right now. Dad already mentioned played at Carson High and then later for Oregon. But his uncle Arnold may be the most intriguing. He's currently the head coach at Carson High School. Arnold Alley played on the 1988 Notre Dame national championship team under Lou Holtz, and then later transferred and played at UCLA under Terry Donahue. So the Alley brothers are kind of legends in Carson. Not only that, he has 2 older sisters who played Division I basketball.
Wow.
His eldest sister, Raina, played at University of San Francisco for Jennifer Azzi. And then Kristen Alley, one of his other older sisters, played at Cal Poly for Faith Mimnaugh. And Alley will get help to his feet. Nice to see him get off. And the defensive line is one of the areas that's been impacted for Nick Mitchell with regard to injury. You know, they were going to be a 4-man front team at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And by the time camp rolled around in August, they didn't have enough people to run that 4-man front, so they went to the 3-man front. And now they're even down a couple of guys more because Alley was like that 4th rusher, and they had a couple of guys go down. They had to slide him into the starting lineup, and now he's gone down. So let's see who they move to the front.
25-second shot.
So they officially marked McGlory down at the 19. 4-yard pickup makes it 2nd and 6. Irwin over the middle, knocked down. TJ Tafati making the play. The freshman out of Vallejo, California. And check that, instead, Nicholas Kaufman. He's the German freshman.
He's weit, drei, wer fünf.
Didn't Cajon have a couple of German? No, who was it?
Aquinas.
Aquinas
had some big-time German. In fact, they both played in the Pac-12.
3rd and 6 RCC from the 19. Irwin with a little pressure. Now moving around, scrambling around back there. Being pursued by Valo. He'll just tuck it under now. Inside the 10 where he'll step out of bounds. So a first down for Irwin with the feet. About a 10-yard pickup on the play. It'll be 1st and goal for RCC.
That brings up a 1st and goal. Tigers!
The way this game started, Jeff, the 3 picks early, you never thought that Riverside would be this much in control of this one, especially in the first half, man. 21 minutes to 9 in terms of time of possession. 1st and goal, McGlory. Pinballing away, escapes right, keeps his balance. He's churning inside the 5, down at the 3.
Looked like he was dead to rights, still managed to pick up 5 yards. Good stick-to-itiveness displayed by Jamon McGlory.
Great stick-to-itiveness. And I'll tell you what, Jamon McGlory is a guy that we all really root for. It's great to see him doing so well. He has had his coming out party tonight. He has been amazing for the Tigers.
2nd and 3, give to McGlory. He runs into something, but then second effort, touchdown McGlory. His 2nd touchdown on the evening. Tigers with another score. Jamon McGlory puts the exclamation point on that one, and it's 34-6 RCC. Pounding the turf in frustration was Steven Cruz because McGlory went through him, just kept driving into the end zone. Let's get another look, Jeff. So there's Cruz. He has him stood up, but nobody's going to tell McGlory when to stop except Jamon McGlory.
He is a torpedo. We saw him do it in high school. He's doing it here as well.
Chavez with the PAT. And, you know, you made a great point about McGlory, about we root for him, but there's a reason you root for him. As we get another look at the drive, Irwin does a lot of the work. One run early, had another run late. McGlory last year played mostly wide receiver for RCC, if you'll remember. And then this year when we talked to Tom Kraft early, the idea was he would kind of be a change of pace back, but he was mostly needed to play special teams. They wanted him to be a special teams guy, and now he has come in, and in this game, his 2nd touchdown of the game has carried the ball 9 times for over 70 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, just a great game. And I'll tell you what, he is bolstering his stat line. I'm sure he'll be playing again.
Yeah, I mean, so you think about he's so versatile. Does that hurt him in terms of maybe the next level?
I don't think so. I think it actually helps him because he can play multiple positions. He played last year, like I said, wide receiver. It makes him kind of, kind of a Reggie Bush type back. A guy that can catch out of the backfield, somebody can throw into the slot.
Branson from the 1 for Golden West. And Branson is going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Making the play for RCC, Kenneth Cervantes. He'll tilt at the windmill, and he'll knock Branson out of bounds. So 17-yard line will be the line of scrimmage. I wonder, particularly if you're an FCS team, if you're a Cal Poly, if you're a UC Davis, somebody like that, there's a guy he can be versatile for you and probably be pretty productive. And they have a real playoff in the FCS.
Yes, they do. Normally is Eastern Washington versus South Dakota State.
Villanova was pretty good. Montana was really good for a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
1st and 10 from the 17 for Golden West. Morant trying the right side, trying to get the edge. Close to a first down, is shoved out. Fitzgerald, I believe, pushed him out of bounds.
Morant, he's pushed out of bounds.
So they're going to say move the sticks. He did get to the marker. Morant in the first half, 11 carries, 19 yards, so 10-yard pickup on the play. And RCC just did a great job shutting down that running game in the first half. Golden West just averaging about 3 yards a carry in the first half. 11-yard pickup to the 28. Here's the play action. Picked off by Dorso. Flag comes in on the play. Dorso still on his feet. Dorso will bring it all the way back to the house. So a punt return touchdown and an interception return touchdown, but there's some laundry sitting at the 38-yard line. We'll need to sort that out before all can be decided.
Boy, he looked like he was going down 2 or 3 times and just kind of slid underneath.
Dorso played at Citrus Hill for the Zomalt brothers. Penalty is on Golden West, so the touchdown stands. Pick 6 by Sean Darso. We were just hanging out with the Zomalts last night. He's a guy who played for the Zomalts.
Yes. The Zomalt brothers are back. They had a tough one last night against a very good North team. Dennis Brown has brought North back. Their only loss this year is to Servite. John W. North back in action. They got a big one this Friday versus Riverside Poly. 2 friends going at it. John Rice, Dennis Brown.
Chavez with the PAT, 42-6. I'll tell you what, I was at OCC when Servite against St. John Bosco. They were an extra point away from sending that game to overtime and a missed PAT. As we look at the pick 6 by Dorso, runs into his own man but is able to keep his balance, and nobody's able to bring him down. And then the second opportunity, he's not going to be denied the second time through. Second return for touchdown by Dorso, 86-yard punt return and about a 45-yard interception return.
A pretty good night for that young man.
Good day at the office for Dorso. 42-6, good day at the office for the Tigers.
As they continue to hold on to that number 1 ranking, maybe this will separate themselves a little bit from, what is the school up north?
San Mateo.
San Mateo, come on.
That's the coaches poll, though. Yeah. Nationally, they're still ranked number 1. Kickoff fielded by Jones. Officially from the 3, over the 20, down at the 25 is Raphael Jones. So Jones, an interesting study too. He was a running back at Mater Dei. In fact, played with JT Daniels at Mater Dei.
Really?
And then bounced back. He went to San Diego and then bounced back. And they were trying to figure out a spot for him. And Bruce Rawlinson called Mitchell and said, "Hey, you could try him on defense," and it worked out.
Tiger fans, if you're all not already, be sure to follow RCC Athletics on Facebook.
Played in a CIF final, lost to St. John Bosco back in 2016.
That's RCC Athletics.
Big game last night, Mater Dei kind of showed they're the big dog in the Trinity League. 1st and 10 from the 25. Option, pitch to the outside. Jackson for about 4.
Yeah, now Mater Dei is ranked number 1 in the country, and St. John Bosco was ranked 3rd?
2nd or 3rd.
Second, yeah.
Pick up a 2nd down.
So 9 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter, and RCC
Please set the clock to 8:45. 8:45.
worked around some trouble in the 1st quarter when they turned the ball over a few times. In fact, 3 interceptions. Second and 6 from the 30. This is Morant up the middle, still twisting and fighting. About 2.5 on the play. 3rd down upcoming. Toughest game for the Rustlers, according to Nick Mitchell, was Canyons. They lost that one 35-24 back on October 5th, and he felt that the effort they would need, that we're going to have to play tough. Canyons is big, strong, and physical. RCC is tough, strong, and physical. If we can replicate the effort against Canyons and get a break or two, we'll be able to hang in this game. They got a couple of breaks early but weren't able to capitalize.
Exactly.
And when you're playing a good team, that's just really tough, Jeff.
You can never get ahead. I mean, Riverside is so quick.
3rd and 3 for Golden West from the 32. Jackson. 1st down, pounding forward to the 40.
Well, I've had fun watching Jackson, though. He needs a little bit of more playing time for that jumbo back.
On the tackle, Riverside number 6, along with number 10, down to our 10.
So 1st down from the 40. Good to see Julian Portnanish back in the ballgame, the freshman out of Corona Del Mar High. He left the game earlier with an injury. He's in at left tackle right now. Tick down to 7 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Jackson shuttles into motion. Circle route. Oh, and Morant gets lit. Whitener got there for RCC, as did Elton Adigwu. Another look at it. Lewis gets the ball, and 2 for the price of 1, but Morant holds on to it.
That brings up a 2nd and 8 for the Rustlers.
Second and 8 from the 42. Clock moves. Give to Morant. He gets submarined. He'll go down after a short game.
32 carrying that ball. He's tackled there by number 50 for RCC.
Zach Barola with the tackle will throw it down to Brian Wilson.
Hey guys, yeah, earlier here on the sideline I saw Jacob Barlich starting to warm up and get loose, so look for him to come in the game in the near future. Gazal, Jeff, back to you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we expect to see Barlich in the second half normally, but Irwin's been playing so well. 3rd and 7 for Golden West. Line is the 43. Here's the throw to the outside. It's complete to Atencio. Taking him down immediately is Dorso. So Dorso's everywhere. Returning punts, returning pick sixes, making a tackle.
It's almost like there's 2 of them. Maybe 3.
4th down. We'll probably see Max Casper again. So Dorso's, they're going to give him a break. They're going to put Whitener back to return the kick. Dorso, well-deserved rest here on the punt return. His team up 42-6. We near 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Good kick, high kick. Whitener will field at about the 17. He'll get around Reich. Now he's dancing. He's to the open field. Turning on the speed is Whitener. No one's going to stop him. Touchdown Tigers. Second punt return for touchdown of the evening for RCC. Sean Dorso did the trick in the first half. Rolandis Whitener pulls it off here in the second half. What an electrifying run by Whitener. Looked like he was hemmed in at about midfield, Jeff, but once he got outside, he turned those afterburners on, and he was gone.
I really thought he was going to call a fair catch, but no. Nothing fair there. He was gone. In fact, when he ran out of the end zone, I thought he was going to run into the parking lot.
And it's interesting, we were talking with Sean Corcoran before the game, who's the special teams coordinator for Golden West, and he was telling us the issues they've had on punts were with blocks and with blocking and the long snapping. The coverage had actually been pretty good this year, but RCC blowing that up twice in this one. Cannon firing off here at Wheelock Stadium.
And that thing scares me every single time.
49-6 is the score with under 5 minutes to play. Get another look at it. Whitener from about the 18 goes 82 yards. 2 punt returns today, and was no doubt. He knew he was going. Nice block at the end there. That was Barola with the block at the end for Whitener to cruise into the end zone.
Look at him. He just kept running.
Yeah. When you're running that fast, Jeff, it's hard to stop. Like, neither you or I were ever that fast.
Are you kidding me? I'm still that fast.
You only had to run 94 feet.
That's true.
That's a difference.
Yeah, he could still be running.
This is a little bit of an inside baseball. I'll never forget when I first met Danny Griffin. Danny Griffin, who played at UNLV and later at Rhode Island for Al Skinner.
Was a Crenshaw superstar.
He was a Crenshaw high school guy. And I mentioned that I knew you, and I guess you and him are buddies. And he goes, "Hey, Jeff ever tell you when we had those dunking contests?" I was like, whoa. You mean Gorham was a dunker? Oh, yeah. He's like, Gorham was a great dunker. He wasn't as good as me, but Gorham had some creative dunks. He was the first guy that told me that you were a bit of a showboat.
I was. But see, Danny Griffin had the longest arms in the world. He would walk in the door, and he could touch the floor standing up.
Well, he played the 5 at 6'7" back in the 90s, which is a big deal. Here's the return. Diego Jackson, the freshman from the Pacific Northwest, with the kickoff return to the 25-yard line for Golden West. Jackson, a freshman. And the offense will go back out for Golden West. Now, to be fair, the Rustlers, without their starting quarterback, Nathaniel Espinoza, although Zach Lewis, I felt, acquitted himself pretty well in the first half, 10 of 19 through the air for 101 yards, didn't turn the ball over. But Espinoza, more of a dual threat that can run and throw the football.
And that does really change the aspects of the game. We have seen many times Irwin and Barlich, 2 completely different quarterbacks, and how they dictate the game.
3 receivers to the near side. Closest to Lewis is Atencio. And then Carr is split out with Branson. Rumbling up the middle
to the 28-yard line is the big fella, Devin Jackson. Jackson, I mentioned it earlier, he signed with Division II Central Washington out of high school. He was with Eastside Catholic in the Seattle area. He won 2 state titles in high school where he played wide receiver. A running back here for Sean Mitchell coming into the game, 35 carries, 282 yards, was averaging 8 yards a pop and a touchdown. So he's kind of the more physical back. Morant, although can play physical, is kind of more the traditional setback for Nick Mitchell and Golden West College. 4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6. Jackson again right up the gut. Jackson bouncing it outside, rumbles to near midfield, gets up near the 45-yard line, about 15 more yards for the Rustlers.
And you're telling me he used to be a receiver?
The other they're talking about is that he was about a 220-pound wide receiver. They wanted him to go down and be down about 200, 190. He bulked up to about 235, 240. Look at him. He's still very agile, still very quick, up to about the 46-yard line. Let's be the 44, so call it a 15-yard pickup. 1st and 10, Golden West. This is Morant driving to the right of the logo.
Ball taken there by number 32.
So Tajay Morant for 4 yards, 2nd and 6 coming up. Savea Vito Logaleo with the tackle. We see him running off the field. Ghazal Hassan, Jeff Gorham, Brian Wilson, our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew. Been a pleasure to work with you this year on these RCC games.
I've had fun. You know, we used to work together every Friday, but you are all over. You are worldwide.
When your time's up, Jeff, your time's just up. Out of the backfield, complete to Jackson. Jackson into RCC territory. Tackled there by Kylan Ross. So about 5 yards on the play. Well, Lewis, they got something in Lewis. Will come back because of a penalty on Golden West. First half, there were 10 penalties whistled on the Rustlers, none on RCC.
Hey, that's pretty darn good. We've seen RCC has had some problems with penalties this season.
Ball right at the 40-yard line.
So ball moves back to the Golden West 40. First down would be up to the RCC 46, 2nd and 14. Receivers stacked high and low. Morant the lone setback and movement. George Arredondo will tell us. False start, Rustlers. So another penalty on Golden West. Nick Mitchell told us that was an issue. They thought they'd cleaned him up, but tough penalties pushing him back even further. So 2nd and 19 now. Lewis to throw. Looking to Carr, incomplete, double coverage there for RCC. Isaiah Powell was there in coverage. Good to see Powell back. He'd missed a few games with an injury. And a line change for defensive coordinator James Cook. A whole new platoon of defenders comes in for RCC. Third and 19. Lewis just puts it into the ground. Bearing down on him was Alex Navarro Silva, the freshman from Don Lugo High School in Chino.
The quarterback was in the pocket when he grounded the ball near an eligible receiver.
4th down. So another punt coming. Max Casper back out. He's kind of been the MVP for Golden West.
Yeah, he has been.
So let's break down. We were talking with Sean Corcoran before the game, and the issue that he felt they've had. So Golden West had their long snapper graduate last year, and he got picked up by Washington State, and they just haven't been able to replace him this year, and it's a lot about timing.
Yeah, it was very analytical.
Yeah. Here's the kick, and that looked pretty good. That was a pretty good snap, and Whitener's going to let it bounce. And, yeah, Golden West ain't going to let him have an opportunity. They're going to down that football. Seo Amor came down and got his 2 paws on it immediately. But their long snapper last year was exceptional. That's why he's at Division I, was about a half a second on the long snap. Ideally, you want to be between about 0.6 and 0.7 seconds. Unfortunately for Golden West this year, according to Coach Corcoran, they've been between about 0.7 and 1.0, which is not good.
No, and that really could suffer.
And the other thing is when you have an experienced punter, they can do a 1-step and punt it. He's saying because they use different punters, they have guys who do a 2-step and a 1.5 step. When you couple that with the extra long snap, it leaves it rife to be blocked. Here's Jacob Barlage, and he completes the pass. His second completion of the game, but his first completion, unfortunately, was to the other team. He throws that one to Kinslow.
Jacob Barlage, the quarterback.
Barlage in the first half, he threw 1 pass and it was intercepted. This is the second throw of the game. Complete to Kinslow out of the backfield. There's Kinslow running in between the tackles. And he keeps driving and maybe very close to a first down. Most of the first-string offensive line, though, still in there. And, and that's the catch-22 here for Coach Tom Kraft, because you're up big in this game, but you need to play week to week. Your guys need to play 4 quarters.
They do. In fact, when you're playing a bowl game or you're playing in a tight game, you want to make sure that those guys are fit and ready to go. And, a lot of high school teams have problems with it. Centennial has a problem with this. You have to be able to play your guys 4 quarters, but do you beat teams by 70, 80 points? And that's kind of the drawback there.
2 by 2 on 1st and 10. They did give him the first down from the 40-yard line. Barlage setting up the screen to Leith. And Leith is lit up immediately at the 40-yard line, making the hit Selu Cook, the freshman from Wai'anae, Hawaii, Wai'anae High School. Clock continues to move. And now you're just working on stuff. 2-yard pickup on the play, 2nd and 8 upcoming. Cerritos and Mesa, tight one there. Third quarter about ready to come to an end here at Wheelock Stadium. Big lead for RCC. The give to Kinslow, still shifty, jitterbugging into Golden West territory. 13-yard pickup. The clock will stop as they reset the football. And, again, he's just running behind those big boys up front.
And they are big.
Sulia Fa'u, Ryan Rowe in there. Here's the give again to Kinslow, trying the right side. He'll cut back up inside and roll over the 40 to about the 35. 9 more yards for him, another first down, and the third quarter comes to an end. So RCC driving with a big lead, 49-6 over Golden West. And we always make the joke, but this battle station, Jeff, fully operational.
I'm telling you, this is the best team I have seen since 1989 in that national championship team. Man, they're so deep at every position. It's scary. And they're healthy, which is something that, they've sat out a couple guys for precautionary reasons. But can you imagine, this will be a fantastic finale if they can continue to win Saddleback wins for that last game of the year.
Yeah, the bye week really came at the right time for them. You remember they had the scare. We were here for the Long Beach City scare, where it was a 31-28 game. They were trailing that game 28-17 in the fourth quarter. They scored the last 2 touchdowns of the game. They went up to Mesa, who was playing really well. They went up on the road against a very good Mesa team and put 61 on them, and then got the bye week. In the last 2 weeks, and then last week, Grossmont, who's kind of at the bottom of the conference, for the conference opener, they won by a score of 55-12 in that one. And now here they're putting it on Golden West, who were coming off a win over Orange Coast. So call it 3rd and 2 from the 36. Kinslow again, and Kinslow will be ridden down by Richard Manuzzi, the Hawaiian for Golden West, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, looking at those running backs for RCC, averaging 3 of them averaging nearly 8 yards per carry with with a quarterback, Irwin, and Kinslow, 8 per carry.
Speaking of Kinslow, there he goes, and he makes the first down. to the 25-yard line. About a 9-yard pickup on the play. So with that one, Riverside now 288 total yards, 160 on the ground, 128 through the air. And again, they turned the ball over 3 times in the first half, in the first quarter, and Golden West unable to capitalize. They were able to tread water with the defense of RCC, and then the offense kind of opened it up. They scored with 4:31 to play in the first quarter, and then again with 40 seconds left in that first quarter. Barledge throw to Kinslow incomplete.
And here's one stat that kind of stood out to me is, hey, the punting situation for RCC, they haven't punted tonight.
Yeah. 9 punts for Golden West compared to none for the Tigers, and 2 of those 9 punts have come back for touchdowns, 86 and 83 yards. From the 26, 2nd and 10. Kinslow will try the right side, try to get the stretch, and he'll be taken down. Stephen Cruz ranging and makes the play for Golden West.
About 3 yards on the play.
So Kinslow getting some workhorse usage here at the end of the game, try to grind this clock. McGlory with 72 yards on 9 carries and a touchdown, or 2 touchdowns. Irwin, 47 yards on 6 carries and a touchdown. And then Kinslow now getting the bulk of the work here, right into the line again. He'll get to the 20, maybe a yard on the play. 4th down coming up for RCC. The important thing, they just want to keep the clock running.
Exactly.
Brings up a 4th.
So perhaps we'll see the field goal unit here, and indeed we will.
For the Tigers.
So Carson Reed will get an attempt at a field goal. Chavez has been the man on the PATs. This one about a 37-yarder. Flag comes in. Golden West had some trouble with penalties on the evening. Looks like Eric Matute is pointing over. Long snapper is pointing towards Golden West, indicating the flag's on the Rustlers. Remaining schedule for RCC at Southwestern next week. They host Orange Coach in the home finale on the 9th of November, and they're at Saddleback in the finale on the 16th of November.
Along with the RCC Spirit team during our sideline Nick football game. The event features a clinic instructed by the RCC Spirit team. Pre-game performance on the field, cheering with our football team on the sideline. You can register online at RCC Athletics. See a team member for details.
So Georgia Arredondo is going to sort it out for us as soon as the PA announcement is over.
In the jungle on November 9th.
Encroachment, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
So that'll be a first down. So RCC will pull the field goal unit off, and they'll trot the offense back out there. And just those little costly penalties.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of flips it the other way for the Rustlers. I mean, the game kind of out of hand right now. You know, it's the World Series going on right now, and they talk so much about timely hitting in baseball.
Exactly.
But there's an issue of timeliness in football, and really this game goes back to the first quarter when Golden West had 3 turnovers all inside the 50-yard line and weren't able to get a point out of it. Barledge took the snap and a flag and a whistle, and this time it looks like it's going to go on RCC. Either a delay or a false start. All right. So I guess that's the reason the shot clock. That's the reason the play clock didn't go, because they never started it. Okay. From the 16, first down. This is Kinslow. Maybe another 10. Ventura with a big lead over Moore Park there up in the San Fernando Valley area. Kinslow, right side, turns the corner, is pulled down inside the 5, but I think they got a piece of the face mask. Seo Amor, the sophomore, from Hawaii, Konawa'ena High School. So I guess it wasn't a face mask. The penalty was on RCC. The replay showed pretty much the face mask was grasped. So they'll back it up to the 17-yard line. First down to about the 7 for RCC. Barlage, corner for Leith. He did not get it. Incomplete.
That's incomplete out of the end zone.
Isaiah Leith, the freshman. Long strides, getting to the corner of the end zone.
12 for the Tigers.
Third down. So big weekend of football coming up in the city of Riverside. Wrapping up the high school season on Friday. CIF coverage on Riverside TV. And obviously we got RCC putting it on the Rustlers from Golden West College. 49-6 lead here in the fourth quarter. Ghazal Hassan, Jeff Gorham, Brian Wilson with you. As well as our award-winning Riverside TV crew. Barlage steps up, delivers. This time Leith reels it in for the touchdown.
Boy, that cannon has had a lot of work tonight. It's going to cost a little bit of money to fill that thing up.
So Isaiah Leith latches on to his first reception of the evening in the end zone and the first touchdown for Jacob Barlage tonight. Barlage, a kid who grew up around the RCC team. His dad, Daniel, who's now the head coach at Valley View High, was an assistant coach here. Part of the time for Tom Kraft between about 2007 and 2014. And Carson Reed pumps it through to make it 56-6. Remember, when he was at Valley View High, I was joking with Dan about Jacob because he was starting. He was a freshman or a sophomore when he got the starting job, and he had a couple plays for this drive. And he said, you know, he was confident that Jacob could win the respect of his team when he was a young guy playing varsity because he'd grown up hanging around with linemen, with JC linemen, because Daniel Barlage, before he became the head coach of Valley View, he was actually the head coach of Valley View twice, but in the interim, he was the line coach here under Tom Kraft.
So he hung out with the big guys.
Yeah, he'd bring Jacob to work and he'd hang out with the linemen, and they'd take care of him and make him like peanut butter sandwiches, and he would just laugh with them. And so he understood how to speak their language, and so now when he needs to command a huddle, he's been talking to linemen since he's 12 years old.
Does he buy him lunch is my big question. He has a good game, you got to buy those guys lunch.
Yeah, isn't there a day? Like there's a day the quarterbacks pay for tacos and the linemen eat them.
They're supposed to.
Yeah. Or something like that. You know, it could be chicken wing, could be tacos.
But he has high school kids at the time, so probably, you know, hey, I'll take you over to the cafeteria.
Here's the kickoff. Here's Jones. Jones from the goal line. And goes down at the 20. Nice open field tackle on the play.
He's tackled there. 37 Manson on the stop for Riverside. Ball will be spotted at the...
I actually think that was Lionel Massivi. They said Lionel Mathis, but it was Massivi on the tackle. To be fair, I do have binoculars, so I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I just like accuracy.
Very accurate.
11:19 to play in this one, 56-6. The Tigers announcing their presence with authority.
Very much. I mean, this is kind of a win. I think it was one.
I mean, you definitely, the way that Golden West had played, you figured they would muster a little bit of resistance, not necessarily because, you know, they were better than RCC, because Coach Mitchell's an experienced coach. He understands what Coach Kraft does. The last couple of times they played, they've been very competitive against RCC. Last year was 24-6, but the 2 years before that, they were both one-score games.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but Coach Kraft can you say recruit?
Well, I mean, he can always recruit, but this is a pretty talented team.
It is very talented.
Here's the give to Valier. He's caught for a loss. Wow, how about that? Chafee running it up on Santa Ana, 63-14. You know, Jermaine Henderson from Riverside Poly is playing for Santa Ana Community College this year. Poly and North going to get down next Friday, next Friday, potentially for a playoff spot for the Bears. Lewis gives to Valier right up the middle. Got some space to the second level, and down he goes at the 40-yard line. 16-yard pickup for the Rustlers. And he's slow to get up. Valier kind of limping off the field, got the worst of that one.
Tackled there by number 20.
Yes.
Torres Steele on 26 with that tackle.
So 1st and 10, Golden West from the 40. Here's the give to Jackson. Jackson will pounce over the 40 to the 41. Short gain on the play.
He's tackled there by number 45.
It looks like now Golden West just wants to get out of here unscathed. They'd been battling some injuries coming, and they had to really shift their defense around a lot because some guys are banged up and they're playing without their starting quarterback this evening as well. But I think as Jackson finds some more space, he'll dive over the 45 to the 46, making it 3rd and manageable. It'll be about a 3rd and 4.
Jackson, though, has been really fun to watch for this Rustler team.
Yeah. Jackson had 58 yards on 9 carries in the first half. Just had a big run earlier. So he could be close to 100 yards. But you're without your quarterback. I thought Zach Lewis acquitted himself pretty well tonight.
Did a great job. And like I said, their biggest concern now is to make sure he is healthy because he's the only quarterback right now on the roster.
Play action. Slant route. Complete to Branson to the 40. It'll move the sticks. Coverage on the play by Tyler Kinslow as opposed to Thomas. They're both from Centennial High in Corona. The Evil Empire, if you will.
In fact, Coach Logan got his 250th win.
Yeah, congratulations to Matt Logan. Really built that program. Was an assistant, kind of on their way up, and then kind of got them to that next level. Jackson, angling, 40, 35, hurtling towards the 30. They'll mark him down at the 30-yard line, so they'll move the sticks again. So Jackson kind of finding a rhythm here in the second half. Devin Jackson, the freshman from the Seattle area. Flag on the play.
Number 5, Golden West. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
So they catch Jeremiah Wright with an illegal block, and it all come back. Well, Saddleback now. These two teams just headed on a collision course, Jeff. Saddleback up 51-7 on OCC. Golden West beat OCC last week. So that November 16th game in Mission Viejo looming very big. Saddleback and Riverside headed for that collision. Lewis being pursued. There's pressure coming. Got to unload the ball down the field. Incomplete.
Lewis was running for his life there. Like I said, you got to make sure he is safe. Got to protect that quarterback.
I'd imagine they probably have a third quarterback on the roster who's probably redshirting, so they don't want to have to use him.
No.
No?
Right now they don't. Like I said, they were going to bring out
Well, they have on the roster. It says they have Simrel Wagner or 2 other quarterbacks. So I guess they're just not with the team right now.
Right now, I believe they're not.
2nd and 20 from midfield for Golden West. The outcome here was decided a while ago. Lewis to throw. Pulls the ball down, and now he'll go down. Lewis just held it too long. First man to him was Omar Mareko. Victor Terry also got in there. Good push up the middle. And then a little do-si-do when he went down. Caleb Fitzgerald occupied a couple of blockers, allowing the outside rushers to get to Lewis and collapse on him. So ball back to the 46 of Golden West. First down at the 40 of RCC. Check that, at the 30 of RCC.
Timeout. Golden West.
So the Rustlers called timeout here with 6:20 to play in the 4th quarter. Tom Kraft looks fairly satisfied as he's stalking the sideline for RCC. The old ball coach.
The old ball coach. You think the old ball coach is going to go to the Day of the Dead, November 2nd?
Maybe in disguise.
He better. And it's going to be at White Park in downtown Riverside from 1 to 10 p.m. Make sure you get down and check it out. It's a free event. It's family friendly. It's the 16th annual. They're going to have art, Aztec dancers, altars that represent those that have passed, a dance performances, food, a Katrina pageant, live music. Make sure you visit White Park, downtown Riverside. And if you need further information, dial 951-784-3111 or RiversideDayoftheDead.com.
You're referring to Los Aztecas? You're an old San Diego State guy.
I am.
3rd and 24. Line is the 46 of Golden West. Morant left side.
Number 32 carrying that ball.
And Morant will run headlong into Torrance Hill at about midfield. 4th down and 20 coming up. Clock continues to move. They stopped it. I guess he was out of bounds.
Yep, they've started it again.
Now, a pretty prominent alum of San Diego State's getting a lot of ink recently, young Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers.
He is.
Got off to a great start, knocking off both the Lakers and the Warriors in succession. And I know you have a kind of a interesting relationship with Kawhi.
Kawhi is, I've been following since he was a young player.
Back when you were coaching, right?
Back when I was coaching, and I'll tell you what, I never thought he'd be the best player in the world, but he sure has become that guy.
Fair catch at the 22, and that's where RCC will start it off. Flag on the play. So Dorso out there after the return. Remember, they pulled him off the field, and then Whitner bought it back.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Number 26 for Riverside. 15 yards by rule. Automatic first down.
So the roughing penalty will make it a first down for Golden West. They'll throw the offense out there. I just want to set the record straight because when you look on social media, Jeff,
yes,
there are a lot of people who are taking credit. You know, they're Riverside guys, and I get it because you're proud of the city of Riverside. For those who don't know, Kawhi Leonard played his high school ball at Martin Luther King High School over there on Van Buren and Wood. Eric Wise was on that team. He played with Tony Snell for a year, I think, as well.
Carlin Brown, who was also a Pac-12 Player of the Year, Tournament Player of the Year, I should say. A very good team.
So you got all these guys trying to take credit for Kawhi Leonard. We'll get back to that story in a little bit. 1st and 10 for Golden West from the 37. Zach Lewis in the pistol. Valier to the 35, 2 more yards. But, and I'm reluctant to say this because you're my friend, but my understanding is you had been a graduate assistant for Steve Fisher when you were in grad school at San Diego State. And you said, you called him and said, you need to take a look at this kid.
Yeah, you know, what happened is there was a kid named Marcus Slaughter who played at John W. North High School.
That's right, and you referred him.
He was the first guy that I kind of recruited. He was the first all-conference player for Steve Fisher.
The give to Valier right up the gut. Driving forward to the 31-yard line, 4 more yards. 3rd and 4 coming up.
So I ended up getting him. He was the all-conference player and was the best player San Diego State had because remember, San Diego State's program was downtrodden. So I saw a young player named Kawhi Leonard who at the time was not considered the best player on his team, but I had thought, hey, this kid's really good. I thought he was going to be the best player. So I called Steve Fisher after a game I saw. I had seen him play a few times. I said, get down and see this young man. He showed up the very next day, and the next day was history. He always said Steve Fisher was the first person to ever talk to him, first person that came out and recruited him. So he ended up at San Diego State, and the rest is history, you say.
Lewis goes down. The sack recorded for RCC by Theo Bullard. Bullard, the sophomore, speaking of Moreno Valley, from Valley View High School.
Yeah. In fact, Kawhi had his first year was at Canyon Springs High School, outplayed King High School his last 3 years, but one of the best high school teams I ever saw, and he was literally the third or fourth option on that team.
I remember you were talking to me about that. I said, how did they ever lose a game? You're like, well, they lost 3.
Exactly.
I remember seeing Eric Wise in the Big West, and he played first for Irvine, then ended his career at USC.
That's correct.
And he was a heck of a player. I can imagine those two guys together.
And they had a point guard, Carlin Brown, who ended up played at Utah, but finished his career at Colorado. And when they had the Pac-12 tournament, he was the MVP of the Pac-12 tournament.
Timeout Golden West with 3:45 to go in this one. 56-6, the Tigers just really all over Golden West. It was a 28-6 game at halftime, then a 3-yard run by Jamon McGlory with 9:45 to play in the third quarter. Sean Darso with a 37-yard pick six. That came at 9:19 of the third quarter. Then with about 5 minutes left in the third quarter, Whitener with an 83-yard punt return and then a touchdown pass earlier from Jacob Barlich.
We got a chance to watch the referees squirting water in their mouth with a Gatorade bottle. 2 of the 3 were pretty good. The third one, not so good.
Fourth down from the 41 of RCC for Golden West. Looking deep. Atencio, what a catch! Touchdown! Golden West with a 41-yard touchdown strike from Lewis to Atencio. And we talked about how Atencio is their main threat. They kept him pretty quiet tonight. Jeff, let's watch this again.
Oh, this beautiful pass. Just a perfect pass. Atencio goes up and just
reels it in over the shoulder, does Atencio. PAT coming. And the kick is good. Jose Arredondo, the sophomore from La Quinta High School, the Westminster La Quinta.
Yeah, Atencio catches that nice touchdown and then is the holder on the extra point.
Good pressure here. Just nice throw by Lewis. Good touch on it and good adjustment by Atencio to concentrate and catch the ball. He was a big-time player at Edison High School in Huntington Beach for Jeff Grady. We mentioned already the story about his reconstructive surgery. He went overseas. He went to Austria for a special type of ligament replacement. They take an artificial ligament and put it in the knee. He had torn up his ACL the summer before his junior year. About 12 weeks later, he was playing. It's called the LARS surgery, ligament augmentation and reconstructive surgery.
And it cost how much? $25,000?
$25,000, which his parents had to raise about 10. They had 15, and then kind of went around to friends and relatives and said, hey, we need to raise some money to get this thing done. You know, they researched it, obviously, to make sure it'd be okay. But he had the surgery, and within 12 weeks, he was back working out with the team. It was the summer before his junior year. He had two very good years at Edison, his junior and senior year, and now he's here having a second very good year at Golden West College.
Instead of the $6 million man, the $25,000 man.
There you go. Finn on the run. Stumbles and keeps his balance, but is able to keep upright till he gets to about the 30. So Martinique Finn's done a nice job on the returns today on the kickoffs. Doesn't have a touchdown, but he's been very dynamic.
He wanted his, though. Just actually tripped over. He tripped right over the 30-yard line.
So Rustlers out of timeouts. They won't be able to stop the clock, and I'd imagine that RCC, they'll just run behind those big boys up front and just chew the clock the rest of the time. Some of the backup linemen are in, and Bartlage back at quarterback. Tailback is Elijah Bennett. They'll hand to Bennett. And the Rustlers are just kind of selling out up front. They're just loading. They're putting 10 guys in the box. Almost defending RCC as if the Tigers are in victory. So a rough one tonight for the Rustlers, 56-13, and the flags come in. You know, the great film director Billy Wilder talked about when you're working on a movie and you're writing a script. He said, you know, if the end's not working out, you got to look at the beginning. And I think for the Rustlers, the score does not look good. But if you're Golden West, you look at that first quarter when you had some early turnovers and weren't able to convert them into points. And does a couple of different things. Obviously, you capitalize. The offense picks up the defense. The defense like, yay, we got an interception. And the offense is like, thanks, here's a touchdown. But it also puts more pressure on RCC. And when Golden West couldn't capitalize, too many men. That's the second illegal substitution penalty on Golden West. That's something you can't have in Week 7.
No, you can't.
But when Golden West couldn't capitalize the first time, you breathe a little bit easier. Second time, you breathe a little bit easier. The third time, you're like, oh, we got this. And then all of a sudden, they just opened it up, and all of a sudden, before you knew it, they're up 21-0.
Yeah, and Golden West, they held the clock longer than RCC, but this, like I said, this offense is just high frequency, scoring quick, fast-paced.
Bennett bangs the middle of the line, and we were mentioning it in the first half. We went to halftime. The touchdown drive in the first half for Golden West was nearly 6 minutes. The 3 drives for 3 touchdowns for RCC, I mean, obviously not including the punt return, which is on a drive, it was under 5.5. That was 3 drives.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. But Riverside, on the other side, can't throw 3 interceptions against a saddleback or a bowl game that expect to win.
There's Griffin trying to get the edge, and he won't. He'll get stopped at the 35-yard line. But you give credit to the defense, and James Cook and his crew. They really lifted the offense. The offense, I won't say they were struggling. They were misfiring with the interceptions.
Yes.
The defense held it up for the first quarter. The offense figured out what they were doing, and then it was business as usual.
Yes, it was.
Chaffee with the final big win over Santa Ana. They're in the top 20 of the state as well. They're also in the top 30 nationally. 3rd and 5. Give is to Griffin. Bring up 4th. So in the coaches' California poll, San Mateo and RCC are tied for number 1. The SID poll, the Tigers are the number 1 team. They're number 1 in JC Gridiron. On the national JC Gridiron poll, San Mateo is number 3, Saddleback number 4. There are 14 teams among the top 30. Ventura at 9, Chaffee at 22, Long Beach City at 24, Mount Sac at 30.
Wow, Mount Sac. They used to always be atop of those rankings.
Well, Coach Kraft was on the staff for a couple years.
Daniel Agadas as well.
That's right.
We're at San Bernardino Valley. That's the first punt of the game for the Tigers.
So Reed with the punt. Caught at about the 30. And down at the 35. Making the return for Golden West, Nicholas Kaufman, the freshman from Lübeck, Germany. Love the international flavor. We got Switzerland. We got Germany. We got Barcelona.
It's the UN.
It is. Pablo Araya, he's a freshman. He was an exchange student in Strasburg, Pennsylvania as a junior, an 11th grader. It's an hour west of Philly, about 90 miles northeast of Baltimore. Went back, finished high school in Spain, and specifically wanted to play football in the U.S., and that's how he ended up at Golden West.
That's pretty cool.
So Sam Simrell in at quarterback, the freshman from Grant High School in Portland, Oregon, the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, so they did have a quarterback that they probably said, hey, we can use him, play a series. Won't affect him if they decide to redshirt.
Yeah, I think Corcoran was playing with you a little bit. He was a little gamesmanship there, right? That was for you teasing him on the boat when he was a child.
Yeah, well, the first thing he asked me is, hey, is Tyler playing?
Well, we haven't mentioned that all night. We haven't had to.
No.
Your best offensive weapon didn't play today. It's precautionary. We were told before it's not so much he's injured, he's a little banged up, and they're just not going to take any chances with him. And that's Valier running between the tackles for Golden West, and probably be the last play of this one. Impressive performance, particularly in the first half, Jeff, by the RCC defense.
Yeah, they were phenomenal. In fact, the one thing that you talked about, there's no penalties, and that's something that Coach Kraft and his staff had talked about. They've had problems with penalties, and none in the first half. That is what got them back into this ballgame and really walked away with this.
I thought Golden West game planned well in the first half. They looked like they had the offense for RCC a little bit confused. They threw the 3 picks, but because they were unable to capitalize, once RCC settled in and got their footing, they kept going downhill and ended up leading at the half 28-6 and a 56-13 final. There's the first interception that we've saw thrown by Irwin, and then Jacob Barledge gets into the game. He threw a pick as well, and then Irwin again, another interception. He lofts it down the field, and it ends up in a Rustlers' hand. But then Jamon McGlory with a 30-yard touchdown run put an end to the silliness early to give RCC their first lead. And then Irwin lines it up and gets the ball into the end zone to Giovanni Sanders. And here's the punt return by Dorso, 86 yards on the short hop, and then finds some space, and he gets a block upfield. He is all the way into pay dirt for RCC, and then the floodgates just open at that point. First score of the game by Morant for Golden West. Here's Mike Irwin with the touchdown run. The PAT, which took out our camera. And then McGlory with his second touchdown of the game. Pick 6 by Dorso. So Sean Dorso with a return of a punt for a touchdown and also a pick 6. 2 touchdowns on the game for him. And then here's Rolandis Whitener. Let's watch him. Whitener breaks the first line, and then once he gets upfield, he's got one block. Here it comes. Boom, and he's gone. So Rolandis Whitener with a touchdown. 83 yards on the punt return. And then Barledge, for good measure, will get a touchdown pass. That's to Lee. Final score of the game was by Golden West. What a catch here by Atencio, the kid out of Edison. And 56-13 is our final tonight. The RCC Tigers and the Golden West Rustlers. And we talked about it in the opening. Right now, it's a coach's cliche, one game at a time, but that's really what the focus needs to be for RCC. They just need to go week to week.
Week to week, limit mistakes, get better as you play on, and you really just have to, like I said, have a bullseye on your back every single week. You're ranked number 1 on every poll. You just have to play hungry still, knowing that you have a big game coming up every single week.
Final numbers, Barledge 3 of 6 with the 1 touchdown for 22 yards. Mike Irwin completed 11 of 22 for 124 yards and a touchdown. Rushing numbers for RCC, 34 rushes for 177 yards, 72 yards from Jamon McGlory. He had a couple touchdowns. Thomas Kinslow with 63 yards. Mike Irwin 47 yards and a touchdown, his 7th touchdown run of the season. Giovanni Sanders 5 catches, 69 yards and a touchdown. Isaiah Leaf had his first touchdown catch of the year. And then how about Sean Dorso? 4 punt returns for 137 yards, the big touchdown. 83-yard punt return for Whitener. So 220 punt return yards for RCC tonight. And they win this one by a score of 56-6. They hold the offense of Golden West to 292 yards compared to 323 for Riverside. It didn't seem like a whole lot, but the big difference in terms of mistakes, 15 penalties for Golden West for 103 yards. Riverside was flagged twice for 25 yards. And despite the fact that Golden West, they executed their game plan, they held the ball for 39 minutes, it didn't really matter. Because once RCC got up and running, it was game over, man.
It was game over, and just the sheer speed of Riverside. I have never seen a junior college team this fast. They're able to score so quickly. You watch a lot of other teams, and they, if they have to traverse 80 yards, it takes them a while. It doesn't take Riverside any time at all. In fact, it's a snap of your fingers, and they're scoring the ball.
To be fair, Golden West playing without their starting quarterback, playing with a banged-up defense, but RCC took advantage of the opportunities
when they presented themselves. Golden West had opportunities early on, weren't able to convert those turnovers into scores, and I think that was the big difference in the ball game.
That was a huge difference, and special teams for Riverside was fantastic. They're just so fast. I mean, no Tyler Kennedy, but there's just another guy and another guy and another guy that can replace.
Yeah, and that's a scary thing if you're looking at RCC. You basically took their best playmaker off the field tonight, and it didn't matter.
No.
It didn't matter. Efforting an interview, I believe Mike Irwin is one of the guys they're waiting for, is Brian Wilson down on the field. So as soon as we get him, they'll tell us. Okay, so we're going to go down to the field to Brian Wilson. 56-13 the final. Players of the game standing by with Brian Wilson on the field.
Hey guys, so I'm here with Mike Irwin and Sean Dorso. First, we're going to start off over here with Mike. Mike, rough start to the game, but you guys were able to bring it back there at the end. What was the message to the team? How'd you rally behind everyone?
Yeah, we just came off. Everyone, was nervous. Game day. Once we got our wits about us and kind of calmed down, did our thing. You look at the scoreboard. We did our thing. It was good.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
And then Sean, big game, punt return, interception return, both for touchdowns. Break down those plays for us. What'd you see? What'd you think?
So Coach always told me throughout the week, he said, make one cut and go. So when the ball bounced, I grabbed it. I seen teammates had one of the defenders blocked up. I made a cut, and I just went. And I seen I put up a touchdown on the interception. He was preaching about they're going to run slants all day. They're going to run it. That's their main play. They're going to run slants. So when he ran the slant, he kind of ran it too deep. I seen it. Quarterback threw it, made a play on the ball, ended up getting a touchdown out of it.
Right. Thank you very much. Great job. Jeff, Gasol, back to you guys.
Mike Irwin, Sean Dorso, great plays tonight. I want to give my man Jamon McGlory some love, too.
Yes,
Two touchdowns today, and he got it going with a 30-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. But a great team effort, and we can't say enough about two units, the defense for the Tigers, and how about the offensive line? They were throwing interceptions. They settled it down with a big drive, doing some blocking on the running game.
They did, and the running game really spread out the field, I should say, for that quarterback, those young guys. Riverside being ranked number one, like I said, they've got to continue to get better. The games are going to get harder, but man, on both sides of the football, they were dynamic tonight.
7-0, 3 games left on the road at Southwestern next week. They'll come back and play Orange Coast College here at RCC on November 9th, and the grand finale at Saddleback on the 16th down in Mission Viejo. That could be for the league title.
That could be for the league title. That could be for a national title. That's what it all boils down to.
56-13 the final. Your RCC Tigers go to 7-0. The Rustlers take the loss. They're 3-4 overall and 1-1 in league play. That's the final here from Wheelock Stadium tonight. For Jeff Gorham and Brian Wilson and our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew, my name's Ghazal Hassan. We'll talk to you next time. 56-13, RCC with the win. Big night for the Tigers. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.